This podcast contains adults using adult language. You have been warned.
Looking back on a past where we still had a chance. We were pawns in a game that we could not win.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Oh.
Hello.
It is Sunday. It is 4:17 Eastern Daylight Time, not Standard Time, Daylight Time. So what does that mean?
Fuck daylight savings.
Yeah.
Let me. I'm gonna interrupt you.
100%.
Fuck daylight savings. It's horseshit. It's useless. Fuck for the people who voted for it.
So, like 100 years ago, screw them, and they're probably dead already.
Fuck them. And I hope that they are.
This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Blind Cleric.
Listen, this is how it is. This is what happens when I'm late.
That's okay. It is perfectly fine. So what that means, though, all of this information that you've just digested in the last approximately 60 seconds, ultimately what this means is that it is time for another episode of Team X, an official franchise of Acquisitions Incorporated operating out of Pinedale with exclusive rights to the Chandlewood region. But that is not where they are right now. But before we get to that, let us go around the horn, introduce our players and our characters and all the normal stuff, the normal ritual that we have to complete before we can actually get into this game proper. So, starting at the 11 o'clock, well, I guess, no, wait, no. 10 o'clock, yes, now it would be 11 o'clock. We're going to spring forward to the 11 o'clock hour part of this where Clues is sitting. I know, daylight savings screws everything up when we think about... Yeah.
Making us do math.
It's all make me think. No. I'm Clues. I'm playing Dread My Gem Weaver, a Tinker Gnome. And then, what is it? To my right? Right? That way.
Yes.
No, wait, that way. That would be my right, even though it's my left.
Clockwise. Oh, hi. Hi. I'm Viking Goat. I'm playing Cynic Gentle Trunk Nature Domain Cleric. Oh, and then continuing around the clock.
I'm assuming that is me.
It is you.
Okay. I'm playing Hugon Valander, Human Fighter.
And that's it.
I mean,
that's all you're getting
how
today.
much do you want me to open my mouth today is the question.
Nothing. I just want to observe your resplendent beard. That's pretty much...
It really shows up against the red, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
Red's a good color for you.
And then finally...
Oh, yes, to the probably 7 o'clock position?
More or less. My name is Roz, also known as Purple Monkey Robots, but today I'll be playing Eno, the Tiefling Bard.
Excellent. This is an excellent crew that we've assembled today.
Yes.
Let's get around to killing you.
I'm a little irked at the dark inspiration that you have hanging out under your name there. There's still two.
There are still two.
Which now, and my thought was that when we do a cool thing, you do a shitty thing to us. I didn't know you could bank them. I mean, I'm not mad.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Now you know.
It's only a D6. I mean, what damage can a D6 do?
You could ask any rogue on Earth how much damage a D6 can do. And it's not the damage, it's the amount, right?
It's the emotional scarring.
It's the therapy that you have to go through afterwards.
Right. I mean, we've never really discussed the long-term effects of a sneak attack to the ass. But like Hugon got a couple there. And he's going to have,
Wow.
Does anyone watch Naruto by chance?
No.
I religiously
You're talking about the game that Japanese school children play, wherein they sneak up behind their allies and friends,
Secret finger
jab
jutsu.
them with their fingers into their sphincters.
Jesus
Mhm.
Christ! Wait, is this actually a thing?
Oh yes,
It's still a thing. It has always been a thing.
I will
Elementary
put
school
you-
students
I'll
do it.
put
Elementary school
in our
students in
Discord.
Japan randomly walk around and check their friend's oil.
Yes.
essentially.
Oh God!
Not like gently either. Like
No.
surprise.
Yeah,
Go.
it is a lunging attack where you crouch down secretly behind someone and then fire yourself into the air.
Dear Lord,
It's amazing to watch, but not to experience.
I think.
I linked it for you later, B.
Oh, I.
I used to follow this guy's blog who was a teacher in Japan, and he's like, yeah,
It happens.
it happens every day. I have these three students who try every day to get me, but my radar has gotten really good. I know when it's about to happen. I have a sixth sense about this now. It never happens anymore.
All right.
And then one day he's like, it happened.
It happened.
It's,
I've been got.
it's been 5 minutes. I've already lost control. We're talking about kids
But
sticking
you have
fingers in each
learned
other's
wonderful new
books.
things, haven't you?
No.
You've learned
no.
you've
This
learned
is-
a
this
new
is
anime
like,
trope.
This is like when Clues Googled "Where's my mommy," and we ended up. With a game.
I still
found
have that
a
game.
about poop.
It's just sitting
So
there.
I'm just gonna put the kibosh on all this right now, and let's play Dungeons and Dragons instead of talking about.
Are we not playing Dungeons and Dragons? Is that not what we were doing?
We were not. We were talking about finger anal penetration, and
Well, I mean, hey.
TOS.
that's yes.
Does that mean at some point I can turn into a little ninja? So I
No.
can...
No, no.
I will
no.
tear off your arms. I will tear off your tiny gnome arms
Okay.
and then beat you to death with them.
What I do need everyone to do is roll
Uh-oh.
3d6.
Oh shit!
3?
Oh no!
Are we adding them up? Or just giving you the...
No, just for the sound. No.
Do you want me to
it's-
total?
Yeah, I need a total.
We've turned into an ASMR stream.
Yeah, why not?
Well, we
8 on mine.
we have
I
to
got
make
9
Up,
total.
we have to make up for that horror show of the first 5 minutes.
10.
10.
I'm really hoping low. Like, there's no indication as to what like large numbers means here because I have 15.
So what?
Oh shit! You're dead.
15. Well, what you want to do is take that number and deduct it from your hit points.
Noted.
Because
Seriously, I should have rolled.
where
here.
we and as you're doing that math, we shall bring the rest of the folks who are watching this up to speed. In that, the team currently finds themselves in the Shadowfell. They had taken a job at the Monastery of Shadow, so no surprise there that there was probably some kind of egress to the realm of shadows. But they had taken a job there, had made a tentative deal with a dragon there, and were sent to the Shadowfell on an errand. One of which was to help benefit Dren, my Gemweaver, who accidentally bonded her soul to one of the other members of their crew during a ritual to free her from the what's called an indentured servitude. In one
it
way
was
of
slavery.
interpreting it. Imagine a dark servitude, to a member of a rival group that was causing some issues and troubles in Pinedale proper, where the team is based out of. But they found themselves in the Shadowfell, where they were almost immediately set upon these doll-like figures that had large wasps' nests built around their bodies. And while
We were attacked by a creepypasta article, essentially.
Yes, basically, yes. You were attacked by Mind of Straub. And
It's true.
and while they were able to set quite a few of them on fire, and we discovered that Hugon does in fact know a spell. He cast Punt on one of them.
Yes, I did.
He did.
I did.
Yeah, memories, man. Good times.
Memories.
But while there, they were ostensibly rescued from this onslaught of almost endless horror show creatures by some tall, elven, pale, deathly pale creatures who basically told them, "Come with us if you want to live," and took them off running. The team, you guys have been on the run for, you're not entirely sure how long you have been running. It might be hours, it might have been minutes, it might be days. It's difficult to tell because the Shadowfell, there is no source of light. There is no sun in the sky. There's only a roiling dark mass of clouds. Light from lanterns does not travel as far as it usually would. Dark vision does not allow you to see as far. There's a persistent chill that just seeps right into your bones constantly. You're being plagued by bubbles of memory that are forever revealing themselves to you. Little kernels of things that you had forgotten about. Things that you don't know why you're thinking about them now. But none of them are traditionally pleasant memories. They would fall more into the negative emotional range of things on the spectrum of things you can remember. And
the not awesome parts
the not awesome
parts of the memory lane.
Exactly.
Like the sort of, infrastructure has failed in this part of memory lane. There's a lot of.
It's like when you're lying in bed at night trying to sleep, and your brain decides, "Hey, let's go over every single thing you've ever done wrong ever in your entire life."
Yeah, that's basically every single night.
That works.
It's essentially every single night for me in real life. So yes, this is a familiar.
But your mind is just doing it as a cataloging exercise. It's not passing judgment. It's just saying this is everything you've ever done wrong. And
oh yes, of course, it still is an inconvenient thing to have to put up with.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
I'm going to admit everyone's here is agreeing with this, so I don't feel entirely called out and attacked. So,
no.
Yay!
Yes.
Yay!
This is okay. So we're all familiar with this. Good. Okay.
Yes.
Moving on. But every now and again, you've been hearing strange noises, strange guttural alien noises from the darkness, and from what these creatures, who have since introduced themselves as Shadar Kai, have said, is that you need to stay on the move. Everyone needs to stay on the move because this is far beyond any of them to fight. There have been several harrying parties of the Shadar Kai that have gone out to try to clear a path through these dull creatures, and every now and again you'll come through a swath of them that's dead, but not all of the patrol always comes back. Sometimes they come back down a number, but
ones that saved us are going out on patrol.
Yes, they're constantly, like, they'll go out as like a quick scouting or a harrying little mission to try to like make sure.
How many are there?
You had started with about approximately 20 of them.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Galloping through. Now you're down to approximately 12.
Oh.
But they've been able to answer some of your questions along the way, but for the most part, you have not had more than 10, 15 minutes at a time where you've been able to stop and rest. Occasionally, there's been moments of where the creatures have been able to move in on your position. You've had to fight them off through flame and fire and sword and sometimes fist and boot. But it just seems like an endless onslaught, and you've been moving. And again, because of you're unsure of the passage of time, it's difficult to say how long you've been on the run. So not a lot of time for deep conversation, but are there any questions that during the course of this marathon that you've been running, Drenmai, I'm sure, has been perched up on Thunuk's shoulder.
I'm fairly well rested.
Yeah, acting well.
Shut up.
But on the same time, you've probably been using a lot of your magic as like a tail gunner almost.
I was firing like fireballs back at him. Do not want.
So, but are there any like questions that you could potentially have wanted to ask the Shadar Kai during the course? And again, this would be during times of where maybe you have a few minutes to rest and everyone's catching their breath for a moment, trying to jam a few bites of what passes as beef jerky or drinking the
Right.
sludge that passes as water, and the water is it's bitter and medicinal and does not taste good, and it sort of slates your thirst a little bit, but not much. It is.
What was the entity that I was supposed to watch out for? Or we, I guess? You said watch out for this.
the
It was like the
Feralith.
Feralith?
The Feralith, yes.
Okay, cool. Great. I'm glad that we have to worry about that. What is that? I asked the Shadar Kai.
The Shadar Kai have said that they are not aware of that. They themselves are not aware of what that might be.
Okay.
But you have asked this out loud,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
so other people could have heard this.
Yes. Yeah. Other people could have heard this.
Does anyone else in the party have an answer for that? Going once? Going twice? No. Okay.
Do we?
What?
Hmm?
Anywho.
I'm sorry. I can't hear you down there, short one.
Yeah.
She is quite possibly a full, like, Hugon's height above him, because if she's standing on top of Thunuk,
Mm-hmm.
This is
She's,
not
like,
how I
perched
feel
on top-
small.
Damn, Shorty.
Are there other questions that anyone in the party would have for the Shadar Kai?
So they don't know the answer to that question.
They do not know the answer to what a Feralith is. No.
Okay. No.
Do we-
a Feralith.
Do we have a destination in mind? Perhaps, perchance.
We
The
just got here and ran.
yeah, pretty much. The one that appears to be in charge says, "Yes, but I dare not speak it aloud. We have many. There are many. The enemy has many spies, but I don't want to give too much away. But yes, we do have a destination, and you can see along the way that every now and again, he when they get there, the stops seem to happen at random. We'll do a everyone do a quick perception check. See if anyone picked up on this.
I can use my this one.
Ooh.
Use my perception.
By the way, as we stop, whenever we get a chance, Thunuk is basically going to just sort of patch people up whenever he can.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
got 14.
14,
I have an 18 total.
18 total,
22.
22,
4.
4.
Coming in strong.
Anchor?
So Eno is you're probably mostly concerned about these things. This is some horrifying shit that you're seeing, and this might be tapping into some deep childhood trauma or something that you didn't even know existed.
We've wandered into the mind of Stephen King, and it is not a pleasant place.
It is not. Merely lucrative.
Lucrative, yes, but pleasant.
So the rest of you do notice that whenever you have stopped, it does seem to happen at random times. But when you have stopped, it looks like the leader of the group is stopping to look around, and you notice that he seems to find a raven almost every time they stop after a couple of minutes. And Thunuk, you notice that he's actually, it seems like he's having a conversation with the raven, but the raven isn't saying anything to him. It's more like the raven is like flapping about and like scratching in the dust, doing like little bird hops, and
Mhm.
and somehow the leader is able to interpret this in some way, shape, or form to determine the next course of action.
So the raven is like a bee, and it's like gesticulations indicate where they're supposed to go. Is that what we're supposed to?
Yes, but more flappy.
Okay, that's really weird.
But much
More what?
Much flappier.
Much flappier, right?
Yeah,
Of
it's
course.
Less butt
Let-
wiggle.
Yeah.
Less adorable little butt wiggle, and more
Yeah.
like having a conniption on the toy store aisle
Imagine
floor.
imagine a dark tribal dance.
Ah, I see. Yes.
Yes.
Thunuk Thunuk's going to volunteer his services as a translator for birds. And
Extraordinary.
I genuinely think Hugon's going to say that, like, just say exactly that when Thunuk's like, I can translate for you if you like.
Yeah, it's canon.
And the leader says,
Fuck animals.
That might be interesting. He says, usually we're left to interpret what the ravens are trying to tell us. I am better than most, but
so there's a margin of error here.
There's always a margin of error. The Raven Queen does not always make her. She does not always make her. She does not always make her intentions or desires 100% known. It is up for us to interpret.
No, I understand. Dealing with gods is a shit show.
Hey!
What?
That's rude.
Oh, I'm sorry. He shouts to the sky. Oh, forgive me.
Smite me if I'm wrong. Nothing? Okay.
I didn't say that. Note that Hugon did not say that. That was clues.
No, actually, I imagine Drenmai up there, like, mocking.
Doing her best Hugon impression.
Yeah. Like, trying to talk with a deep, gravelly voice, but because it's gnomish, it never quite gets...
Yeah, coming from this squeaky little creature.
It sounds more like Hugon on helium than...
Or Dren on sulfahexafluoride.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
Really
would be
funny.
more funny.
Yeah. She did a shot of nitrous before, like, whoa.
Oh, boy.
He says, you can certainly try, but I don't even think the Ravens know. Their messages seem to be cryptic at best, but certainly you can try.
Okay. And Thunuk will cast Speak with Animals. I'm not even going to do speech of beast and leaf. I'm sure that he probably would have figured something out from the mad dancing about on his own.
The cavorting.
Yeah. But I think given the situation, it's probably best to have a full open stream conversation here.
Communication in its truest form.
Yes.
Yeah.
A shared form rather than open for interpretation.
Now, keep in mind, this is it's not going to last very long. So this is a 10-minute spell, duration-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thunuk casts Speak with Animals.
Okay. So the crow is still doing its little interpretive dance in the dust. And it keeps on, like, looking up at the leader. Like, it glances up to see that he's paying attention, and then goes back and he keeps on doing,
now it's step here, then step here. No, you're not even watching.
Yeah, pretty much. No, he's like, do you hear him say, are you even watching? Dude, why don't you understand? You have to follow.
You can just, you don't have to do all the dancing. You can just tell me.
I'm trying to wait.
Hi, I'm Thunuk.
I'm Craw.
Hi, Craw.
Do you understand me?
For the next little bit.
Thank gods. Do you know how hard it is to try to dance a message?
I don't think I have tried.
It's a great workout, but when it's important, it's tough because they don't always get it right.
I could see how that might be. Yeah.
They need to bring the shinies to the queen.
Where is the queen? What's the shiny?
I don't understand this. Does it be like shiny?
She's at the. She's home.
Okay.
The queen is home. She's at the nest. But they need to get the shinies to the queen. The queen has seen the shinies and wants the shinies. That's why she sent us to help tell them to bring the shinies to her. And
meanwhile,
they're not
Hugon in the
going-
background is taking a whetstone and just carving it down the blade of his halberd, just waiting.
And they're not going. They're not taking the shinies the way the me flies.
Well, we can't because we don't have wings. We have to walk. And there's these weird stingy wasp doll things. They're mean.
They carry the foods, but there's too many foods for us to eat. Wait. Maybe can you tell them they need to go as the me flies to the nest and bring the shinies, and I will go get more. I will get more cause.
Okay.
And we will try to get rid of more of the foods. They have provided
this entire
us
time.
a feast. They provided us with a feast, but there's only so much I can eat.
I know what that's like. That's tough. I've never eaten wasps before.
You can eat anything.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
Some things are better than others. These foods are not good. They are.
Oh.
They are.
Have you ever eaten
a
cooked wasp? Because you can change flavors if you cook things.
What's cooked?
Well, you use a fire.
No, don't like fire.
But you put
fire.
Other flavors.
No, don't like fire.
That would be difficult then.
Yeah, don't like fire. So,
but is there a Shadowfell sous vide that we could use instead?
What's that thing called where you cook? It's not cooking, but you're basically preparing like shellfish and stuff and fish with like
ceviche.
With ceviche.
Yeah, you use an acid or some sort of agent to neutralize the bacteria.
This is all now going through Thunuk's head. Like, maybe I could do like a.
We could do sous vide. We could do a ceviche. We could. What if you could eat them raw? No, you can't eat them raw, but they're not very good. And the crow's saying, these are not the normal foods. These foods. These are different foods. I think. There's. The queen has said there's someone else. She doesn't tell us much. There's someone else out there that these are not normal. We don't usually see these foods. You can see like the crow's trying to work out within its limited exposure and worldview to try to
bird vocabulary.
Yeah, I mean, a crow probably has a very good vocabulary, but its understanding of the world is very limited, and there's probably advanced concepts that the queen has tried to impart to them, and they're only able to get their little portion of it. And you can see he's wrestling with. There's probably some deeper concept going on here, but he's like, okay, so you come through the stingy food, and I'll go get more, and we'll try to get rid of the stingy food.
Okay.
Because the mistress is getting impatient. She wants her shinies.
Shiny.
Yes, shinies.
Okay. What's a shiny?
Oh, they so
Am I a shiny?
You are, yes, you have shiny. Yes, you have some shiny with you. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But people have shinies. Some are shinier than others, and she wants us to bring the shinies to her.
Oh. It's going through his mind, like everything he might have on his person that could be remotely shiny.
And then at the entire time, it's like Thunic is having this conversation with a crow. Like this enormous Fearbulg is like kind of crouched down. And the crow has never really stopped like hopping and dancing around. It's still trying to do its interpretive dance. It's trying to communicate things. Yes, it's hopping around.
It's basically bird breakdancing.
Yes.
Because spitting on his head.
Sometimes
it's trying to convey some super advanced like information.
Sometimes it does that weird kick with the leg comes up and pauses. Just
yeah.
Sometimes the wings are coming over the head, and
it's got this whole bird of paradise thing going. Except it's every bird of paradise's dance mixed into one.
Sometimes it's the blue-footed booby dance.
Yeah, sometimes.
1 foot up, then the other foot up, back to the first foot, and then it moves into something else.
Yeah.
Thunic is relaying whatever he can whenever it's like there's a gap. He realizes he's not supposed to be thinking about how to prepare wasp.
That would be ideal.
But that probably comes out at some point because I imagine that Thunic is kind of like verbal diarrhea, where it's just like as he's translating, it's this as, oh, now we're talking about how the best way to prepare wasps.
And so like it's like, hey, focus, hey.
Have you guys ever done ceviche before? It's really good.
Not a good time.
But
we will discuss it when we aren't being chased by wasps. How about that?
But will there be wasps to cook then?
There will be plenty of wasps.
Okay. He's looking forward to this now.
Okay.
He's been promised wasp.
You weren't promised anything.
Hugon said there will be plenty of wasp. That's a promise.
And Hugon's word is his bond.
Okay. I guess you're going to be disappointed.
And so the entire time, Dren, are you sitting on his shoulder the entire time that he's having this conversation?
I was picturing, like, I don't know if he's talking in normal tongue or if it's like squawks that are just coming out and I'm staring at him.
I don't remember. Let me double check.
That is a really good question.
Yeah, I don't actually know that. So
Let's
like
take a look.
I can either have half the conversation or I'm just staring at him like, what are you doing?
Let's see. Speak.
It's left entirely up to you as the DM, according to what's described here.
You gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with the beasts of the duration. The knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at minimum, beasts can give you information about nearby locations and monsters, including whatever they could perceive. You might also be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor for you at the DM's discretion.
So it's up to you.
I would like if to see how you feel about this. I would like for Thunic to basically be squawking back and forth.
I love
but
this.
As near as he can tell, though, he's speaking common.
It's like parcel tongue for you.
It's basically parcel tongue.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just looking at him like patting his head. Okay.
Every so often, he'll when he's relaying stuff, he'll actually be calling back at everyone else instead of speaking common.
Yeah.
And every time you do that,
squeakums.
I just want to see like Dren kind of like taps him on the side of the head, like, oh yeah, like adjusting an old TV set, just. There's something wrong. The frequency.
If there's something wrong, you kick it. It fixes things. This happens.
Are you like adjusting his ears to like get him into the right frequency?
No, It's like I like he starts squeaking and I'm like, dude, are you okay? It like look in front of him, like, hello.
I'm waiting for the moment when eventually Dren might just ratatouille's Thunuk with the hair. Just
He's probably got some fluff and twigs and stuff up there, so it's possible. I could make a nest.
the rest of the time, are you just like picking through, like looking for parts? Like,
There's
oh,
got to be a good gear here somewhere.
this would make for
No,
a good,
it's all plant matter.
this would make for a good dowel. So the crow says, "Okay," and it glances up. It says, "Okay, it sounds like the stingy food's coming back. So, I'm gonna go and get more, but you need to tell them.
Mhm.
Bring the shinies to the mistress, quickly, 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 fast, fast,
Yes.
as the me flies."
Which direction?
And it flutters and takes off, and you can see the direction it's flying. It's tough to tell a cardinal direction, but you see that that caw is flying in a straight line. And
We have to go that way. That just straight that way. He also said there's more of those wasp things coming. But he's going to bring help. They're going to eat the wasps.
I like this. I just don't want to be anywhere near that when it happens.
And the leader of the Shadar Kai says, that is probably the most helpful one of those birds has been.
They're very confused. They don't know. They don't know why you don't understand them.
I get that.
You should talk to them more.
Maybe I can learn that one day. But for now, it seems like we have to get on the move. And you hear like this buzzing in the distance, but it sounds like a greater buzzing than you've heard before. Like the swarm is intensifying. So he like makes some quick hand signals to his fellow Shadar Kai, and some of them quickly get up, and you see they actually move in a completely different direction, and it's like it's just like a small party of like 3-4 of them that before they leave, they do like some hand signal directions. You can see that they're trying to be quiet about it, and there's a brief embrace amongst those that are leaving and the rest of the group. Like they basically clasp forearms, like a handshake, but higher up towards the elbow, and with the other hand they grab behind the other one's head and they tap foreheads. There's like this moment of like camaraderie, and then and remember they're wearing these masks with these sorrowful faces carved into them, and there's like a clink of the metal, and then the group of 4 of them take off at a completely different direction, and very quickly disappear into the darkness. Where the leader then says, "Okay, we need to move now. We must move quickly."
And Hugon looks at the leader and goes, "How much time do you think they can buy us?" He nods to where the 4 ran off to.
He says, "My hope is that they can reach." And he looks around. One of his officers fires off a flaming arrow off behind him, and you see it catch, and you see like a conflagration that you've seen before, where they're able to hit one of these nests, and it usually takes out a few of them at once.
Right.
And you see that probably about 100 to 200 yards away. It's difficult to tell in the murk. And he says, "My hope is that one of them can get where they need to go. That is my hope."
Those are shitty odds.
They will be reborn.
Says you.
We have lived.
Shall we get moving?
Yes, we shall. And so everyone else quickly breaks camp, and he starts shuttling everyone off directly in the direction that the crow just flew. And as you're going, now you're encountering now almost now the going gets a little bit more tough, because now whereas you're trying to almost carve a path where they weren't, now you're able to travel again. Is it a few minutes? Is it 5? Is it 20? It's difficult to tell the passage of time. It's almost like time isn't anchored in the same way in the Shadowfell as it is elsewhere. It's like when you're at work and you feel like, man, it feels like an hour has gone by, and then you look up at the clock and 5 minutes have gone by. And then the opposite of where you think you've only been working for a few minutes, and you look up and 2 hours have gone by.
Right.
And
was that a short rest, out of curiosity?
No, it was not enough time for a short rest.
Not
It
enough.
was very, very brief.
Gotcha. That's fine. That's fine.
And
what did we take 9 points for, or what did we take the damage for in the beginning? Just the wasps?
Yeah, the
wasp
that
fuckery
you've encountered along the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fucking wasps.
Wasps. The what is it? The Megalara Garuda.
The Megalara Garuda. Look that up, children.
Or not, you know.
Or do, and
no.
Then like hide pictures of it around your house, in drawers and in cabinets, and maybe
so
on
it's like
bathroom
the
doors.
Cage thing.
Just be glad I didn't send after you dire butterflies.
Dire butterflies.
Dire.
I might
butterflies.
have actually wanted one of those.
It's like a butterfly, but dire.
But worse.
But big and scary and cool.
So, but as you're going now, you're finding that now what's now? See, now I'm going to forget the word for it. The forward troops. In a
Vanguard.
Thank you. I knew you would know it. The Vanguard, moving forward, and they're almost hitting it like the prow of a ship, plowing into a sea of whatever these creatures are, and trying to clear as much of a path. But you can see that now they're not able to move as fast, and they're kind of getting pushed further back towards the main group. And you're seeing as they're trying to cycle in and out, almost like when geese are flying south, how there's always a different goose that flies in the front, and they're constantly rotating so that one goose doesn't get tired. You can see that their vanguard is constantly rotating so that there's not just one person who's always taking the brunt of it. But as they're coming,
there's always that goose that's not in formation. That's me.
Yeah, and then
except that you're on top of the giant kin.
Yes.
Do you honestly think the Nook or I would be in formation of any sorts?
The smartest, or maybe the smartest goose of all.
Riding a much larger goose.
Riding a much. Well, it's like when you see the sparrow riding on top of or what was it? The ferret, the mongoose that was riding on top of the eagle. You know,
it was an ermine.
It was a pine marten, I think, riding on top of a woodpecker.
I thought it was an ermine.
Oh, it might have been an ermine.
These are all amazing.
But like, how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know. But that's a glorious picture.
So as they're plowing into this, and and you can see as the vanguard is cycling back in, you can see that they're coming back with these enormous welts from the stingers, from these wasps, from the bites, from these wasps. How might you help? How might you help them in this? Is there any way that you could see that you might be able to support them in this?
I can probably take a couple of turns at the vanguard.
Don't go that way. That's me helping. Don't go near the bad pointy things.
The bad things with the
Hugon will step into their rotation.
Okay.
So to speak.
So
he's got a weapon sort of designed for taking on hordes of like tiny annoying bullshit.
This is true. Yes. So for about every 10 minutes that you spend up there, and that's about the rotation, unless it gets worse, you're going to take approximately 1d6 damage from these things up there. Because even though you have a very high armor class, these are bugs.
It's stinger and it's a bug. Yeah, they're going to get in there.
And I'm imagining... Oh, hang on a second. So, okay, so roll for a little bit of damage.
5.
5. Okay, so you're going to take another 5 of the stinging damage. Yep. So, if you remember, there is something going around this week of a giant wasp flying into and crawling into the trunk of a car. There's a video someone got. No, it was an enormous flying wasp thingy. I think in Australia that.
Oh no, that was a spider.
That was a spider.
That was which is even worse.
But you see, it kind of like was able to find.
I was like crawls out and be like, "Yo, what up?" and then crawls back in.
No.
Like now
This was different. This was something that flew, landed on the trunk of a car, and then crawled into the trunk of the closed.
Oh, fuck that.
Yes, it was in Australia.
Oh, I saw that. It was a spider.
Oh, was it?
That was shit, garbage. Fuck that. I my response that I put the little GIF of everything on fire.
So, Hugon,
I'm gonna find that so I can link it. It was terrifying.
One of these was actually able to find a chink in your armor and crawl in.
Yeah,
and it sinks
which is
stinger in, and does another 4 points of damage. This is like one of those good ones. This is like getting bit by a bullet ant.
Yeah, or a Japanese stinging hornet.
Yeah, something like that.
It's about like, well, I can kind of feel it where it is in my arm and get like a dagger and just stab yourself.
Flesh.
And as it, or I'm even imagining that instead of that, you're not even stabbing. You just take your armor and just smash your armor into your.
Just punch myself in the chest and crush it.
And you crush it, but you do feel a burning there. Like maybe a little bit. I should
talk to my doctor about it.
You might want to. Yes, there is burning at the site of penetration. Usually a good time to talk to your doctor.
Yeah, usually a good time.
So you do your rotation out. Are there?
This is an R-rated stream today, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you don't
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh god, I just saw it again. Like, there. I'm watching it. This is terrifying. I hate it so much.
Listen, stop sharing these horrifying things with everyone.
You mentioned it. It's not my fault.
You went and googled out and found more stuff. I'm not going to be held responsible for your habits online.
Fortunately, it looks a little on the big side, so hopefully it's not deadly.
No.
But in any case.
So you're spending some time, so you rotate out. Thonik, Eno, Dren, is there anything that you guys would like to do to help support this? Because as you're moving, you're seeing that as these folks are rotating in, each time they come back just a little bit, they're running just a little bit slower. They have welts on their necks, on their ears, on whatever exposed skin. You can see some of them are almost trying to like itch through the armor, because like when once those histamines start kicking in, and it's rough because it's like when you get an itch and you're armored up, it's gonna stay itchy.
One of the key skills of an armored soldier is learning to ignore that and just be like, I'm gonna have to live with this forever.
Or you see the move where they're like tapping their armor with like the hilt of a sword or something, just trying to like get some kind of purchase on there to. Are there any things that you guys would like to do to help support the movement through this sea of dolls? Eyes are missing from some of them. Some of them, the eyes are like almost tilted to the side. One of them has a face that looks like it was melted by something.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at a scene that this reminds me of, which we will discuss later.
I'm not laughing at them. I'm laughing near them.
I'm laughing in the adjacency with them.
I'm laughing with them. There is one that has its face that looks like some small child took a knife and carved a rictus grin into its face, but you can see like the kind of the hollow portions there. But all of them with these misshapen paper wasp looking nests.
And how like far around, like what is the spread on this?
Every now and again, one is able to kind of wander its way into the group, but for the most part, it seems like the vanguard is able to keep about a 20 to 30 foot radius around of clear where there's no swarming. Every now and again, one of the wasps come in, you're able to swat at it, but the folks that are on the outer edges are taking the brunt of the stinging now, whereas before it was kind of like, because the navigation was able to go the path of least resistance. Now you're going through the path of possibly most resistance. The most resistance.
So if my dark vision is halved, I can see 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And my cantrip is vicious mockery, which does 2d4. The normal range is 60 feet, so I would imagine it's really 30 feet now.
Yes, but you would also, does it need a certain level of intelligence in order to be mocked?
It's unleash a string of insults laced with subtle enchantments. Creature you can see within range. If the target can hear you, though it need not understand you, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d4. It's really 2d4 psychic damage and have disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
Well, let's hear some vicious mockery against.
So basically, if we're in like a wedge formation moving forward, like the fighters are, Eno is in the center, like just like mocking aggressively, like these little tiny creatures would be like, ha ha, and it just.
What does some of this mockery look like?
Yeah, he would basically, like, there'd be a lot of cursing, obviously, and which he doesn't ordinarily curse a lot, but he would be using a lot of curse words, but he would be saying things like, don't you need a license to be that ugly? And I guess today I'm a swashbuckler and things like that, It's a good thing we can all be prepared and things like that. Just I don't know what your problem is, but I bet it's hard to pronounce. Just everything that he's just throwing as much damage out as he can.
As if their lives being wasp nests weren't already hard.
Exactly.
And you're now in word jail for that.
Thank you.
So give me a couple of D4s.
It's an honor.
Give me a couple of D4s so we can see how effective this.
That's a 5. Got a 4 and a 1.
A 4 and a 1. Okay. So you're able to see occasionally a couple of them as they're trying to wander, like as they're trying to kind of flank you. You're able to catch them and hurl an insult, a well-timed, cutting barbed words. In their direction, and you can see they kind of do like this, where they do like the Woody thing from Toy Story, where as soon as like Andy
just collapse ragdoll style,
nice. Collapse over, and you can see like the wasps kind of retract into it, like go back into their nest and kind of like
think about their shitty lives as wasps.
think about how big of an asshole they all are as a species genetically. Yes.
Good. Well done.
Any kind of how would you guys like to support this movement through the sea of no-nos?
No-nos.
Hide. I picture Thunuk would want to heal.
Thunuk is actually going to apply ointments
and
salves. And as he's doing that, he's like, I remember making an ointment that scared away mosquitoes, and stinging bugs, like parasitic bugs. Maybe I can make something like that. So every time he's applying an ointment, he's making it slightly different, adding something to it to try to create like a
combination repellent.
Repellent and sting.
He's doing
ointment.
Like aloe, and he's doing aloe. What's the,
citronella?
Citronella. What's the the pink stuff you put on when you get stung?
I don't know.
That's it's an antihistamine cream of some sort. I forget the name of it right now.
Oh man, it's pink. That's just all I remember.
Yeah.
So basically, you're doing Dungeons and Dragons DEET with Dungeons and Dragons Skin So Soft of some kind.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is hazel and all that.
Damn it.
Calamine. Thank you. Yes, calamine lotion.
Calamine lotion. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're making
clutch potato storms.
Salves,
thank you.
Salves and poultices. And all the other sorts of fun words you can say that mean, lotions.
What's this?
Oh, does it
throw
put
it in
the
your mouth?
lotion on
No,
the
that's
skin?
a poultice. You don't need it.
So Thunuk is putting
It
the
tastes
lotion on the
awful.
skins.
But it's a fucking poultice.
And how many of them are there, by the way? Just out of curiosity.
What?
Are there of the Vanguard?
Generally, there's usually 4 to 5 up in the vanguard, but it's constantly rotating. You had about a dozen people in the group, but 4 of them left on that mission before you took off. Now,
okay.
So, and now here's the question: have we tapped into something that's really disturbing Drenmai, or have we tapped into something that's really disturbing Clues?
No, I think the tattered up wasp and doll thing's pretty cool. This is bugging the shit out of Dren.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
Maybe
fine
there's a Venn diagram there.
I mean, like if
as
you
a person, I'm fine with everything short of spiders. I can handle everything but spiders.
Noted. I'm gonna remember that.
Hang on. Gonna click
Can't
that.
stand.
Yeah.
Spiders.
For me, it's botflies.
Bot
flies?
flies?
The
Oh,
larvae,
God.
The larvae especially.
Is it more the look or just what they can do?
It's their reproductive process.
Yeah,
It's awful.
it's terrifying.
I was actually watching a bunch of videos trying to desensitize.
Why? Oh, yeah, no, it won't work.
Myself. It's not worked too poorly.
Everyone give me a perception check.
Perception.
Perception.
I have a 13, Ryan.
Same, 13.
13?
17.
17?
16.
16. Eno and Thunuk. You hear a cawing in the distance. Hear in the distance.
Multitude.
And then you hear another
Something's
one.
laughing at me.
Because you know that crows and ravens, they speak to each other. Right?
Mhm.
And then another. And then another. And before you know it, there is this cacophony.
A cacophony.
A cacophony.
You're fired.
I can do it too. I can make people suffer with words too.
It starts off with just the one, and it's very much like when you have the first violin in an orchestra who plays that starting note.
I'm sorry,
then
that's a beautiful image.
Then
Dark
the rest
orchestra.
of the orchestra slowly starts to filter in as they start adjusting their pitch. And then you hear the call again, and this time an even bigger swelling of this cawing just builds and builds. And despite the fact that the sky is this roiling slate, dark, stormy gray mix of grays, that you can see that there are clouds there, but it's just dark and murk. But somehow on the horizon gets even darker, and before you know it, now even Hugon and Eno, now you can hear it. Now you start to hear an even bigger swelling, a wall of sound moving towards you as this black splotch. It's almost like a void on the horizon where there's almost a hole in reality. And the Shadar Kai start to move with a little bit more pep in their step. They quicken their pace just a little bit, moving towards this black horde. And then finally, almost out of nowhere, is this enormous explosion of crows that comes blasting through into your vision. And they are everywhere, swarming around you in this, but there's always keeping like this 20 to 30 foot radius. And you can see that they're pouncing upon all of these, whatever these things are. And you can see that they're taking the wasps out of midair in their beaks and in their claws and landing on them, and they're tearing them apart and swallowing and eating them in midair. They're kind of doing like that bird gulping thing as they come by, and with these clever beaks that are able to just pull into these nests and reach in there, and it looks like they're pulling out even larger wasps out of some of these nests. Maybe it's a queen wasp.
Now, are these like normal crows? Are these like greater crows?
No, these are not greater crows. They are not deep crows or anything like that.
Okay.
These are normal crows, normal sized ravens, but ravens are pretty big.
Yeah.
They're a pretty
crows are kind of like, eh. maybe.
Some of them are bigger. There's some large.
Some of them are bigger, but like ravens are like Jesus.
Yeah,
sometimes
ravens are big. These are some healthy big boy ravens that are getting healthier by the moment.
I saw a raven once in California that was the size of a hawk. Like, I shit you not, it was terrifying. I was like, "What the hell is that?" And it's just like looking at you, like regarding, trying to figure out if you're edible or how many eyes it can take.
The arrows, the flaming arrows, are flying out a little quicker now, but you can see that they're starting to run out of ammo. Every now and again, you see just a swarm of these wasps that seem to have gathered upon one of these ravens and to actually take the raven down. Just covered. There's like a raven shape that's constantly moving from all the wasps crawling all over them. But for the most part, the path is now almost completely open in front of you from this that the ravens have just carved through these creatures for you. And you hear the head Shadar Kai just say, "Run! Run! Run as fast as you can! Run!" And just takes off at a sprint. And it takes off at a sprint and through like this column now that has been created that the ravens are creating for you to move a little bit with a little bit more ease. And you find yourself again. Is it a few minutes? Is it many minutes? Is it almost an hour? It's difficult to tell. You know that your thighs are burning. Well, not Dren's because she's riding on Thonic's shoulders. But you're starting to get that burning in your thighs from the constant running, as the lactic acid starts to build up, and you finally start to see in the distance small pinpricks of light.
Oh.
And
fascinating.
And as you get closer, you see that it is lights that are on top of a great wall built of giant dark stones. The wall almost blends in, almost like natural camouflage, but you can see these beacons on top. And as you make your way, you can see a large gate in the wall there. And the gate is as the gate is winched and cranked open, the Shadar Kai quicken their step even more and encourage you to do the same to get within the safety of the walls. And as you finally move within the walls, there's almost like a wall behind you of these ravens that are creating a physical barrier to keep any of the wasps or these creatures from entering within the city limits. And the gates are winched shut. And as you do that, you hear a war horn in the distance. And then you can see through the portholes in the wall or the portholes in the gate if you were one to watch these things. You would see a line of fire moving towards the city wall. And these mini explosions as these creatures are catching fire and bursting into flame. And the fire moves closer and closer. And you can see there's actually a force of more of these Shadar Kai who basically have jets of fire springing from their arms, it looks like. And they're just clearing a path. Just burning, scorched earth. And now these things are now caught between the Shadar Kai with gouts of flame coming from these devices under their arms and the walls of this city. And they've got nowhere to go and just erupting into flame. And there's the wasps are catching, their wings are catching fire and they're falling and kind of curling up and getting all crunchy the ravens that now have abandoned their guard at the wall, because as you now know, they do not like fire. And the head Shadar Kai just like chuckles to himself and he goes, "At least one of them made it." And he turns to your group and he says, "Gifts from Ravnica."
Ah. And if that's supposed to mean anything.
Where?
And he says,
People give gifts.
Although Hugon is like, having watched that, was like, I can think of a few uses for those. He's doing the whole like, yeah.
And he says, I am sorry that this was your introduction to our land. You are certainly tired. We can find you food and lodging. It seems like that our mistress has requested your presence, but that need not happen now. I think we need to get you rested. We need to get you fed. We need to have you prepared for what could potentially lie in front of you. Would you be willing to accept lodgings for the evening?
I think that's
until we
reasonable.
Can prepare you.
Well, can I just like do like a quick insight check or something to see if I trust this person?
You absolutely can. I encourage this kind of behavior.
14.
14. You're pretty sure that he's there. He is what he is. You're not picking up on any kind of deception. There's no. Or you're picking up on. You want to pick up on malice? No, there's no. You're not picking up on any malice.
Yeah, or if he's trying to deceive us, or if he's like setting a trap. Like this is all just a big scheme. Like nobody just offers lodging, food, and all this good stuff. What's your deal?
What's the catch?
Does she say that or?
No. This is going on mentally.
A rare moment of introspection from Drenmai.
Yeah, the only word that would come out would be like skeptical.
That'd be
it.
From under the mask, he says, "I can understand that."
All right. Did Kohan and Laura Alyssa live? Are they with us?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, guys. I was curious because we didn't mention them.
Yes.
If they had survived or not.
Yes. Oh no, they died. They died sometime on Wednesday.
It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible.
Yeah, and he says, "No, I can understand your skepticism. I don't know what I could tell you or say to you to assuage your fears, other than we mean you no harm."
Are you asking that in earnest, or is it just a platitude?
In earnest. Is there something we could do that would alleviate your skepticism?
A friend with a bird. I mean,
no,
needs are nice people.
Cool.
This is something that Dred does to a lot of people that she doesn't know, but I feel like we're kind of going into their care a bit. So I want to ask him, what is it that you value most in the world?
That's a dark question.
He says, in all honesty, merely to serve the will of my mistress. To see my troops return safely, whether that is now or whether that is when they are reincarnated. And I wish more than anything, I wish for peace. A peace that we have not known here for a very, very long time.
I make a mental note of all of it.
How will I exploit this later?
How? No, this is you fuck me over. I'm going to destroy everything you love.
Wow.
Old.
Wow.
That's exactly what I knew she was doing.
Wow.
It's like, let me tabulate a list of the things that you love so that I can take them away from you one by one.
That got dark really quick.
Welcome to the Shadowfell, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and I never said that Drun was 100% a light, shiny character all the time.
His mistress is the Raven Queen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is something that I'm sure would have come up during the course of your travels over the last minutes / days. It's been difficult to tell. But they were very open that they serve the Raven Queen, that they were very open about the fact that there appears to be some other that Vecna appears to be has some new allies.
Oh,
it seems.
Delightful.
They did talk about how, and they did talk about how there's been almost a constant war, for as long as anyone can remember, between Vecna and the forces of the Raven Queen. In that, he has made clear his desire to try to take over the Fortress of Memory, and how he's been turned away every single time, at every machination that he has had, that they've been able to turn away his plans and his plots. But he appears to have some kind of new ally, as best they can tell, because they have not seen these kinds of creatures before. This is a new creature that plagues the Shadowfell that they have not encountered before. These doll, the creepypastas.
That's their name now. It's canon.
Well, no, we got to find a better name than that, because that doesn't.
They are the creepypastas.
Creepypastas. So,
now.
He says.
Does that mean if they're infested with the wasp, they're creepy wastas?
Oh God.
Wow.
Wow.
Good one.
That's three. That's three.
We've done the trifecta. We're not allowed anymore.
No.
We had our limit of 3.
Yeah, your limit of 3. And so because we hit 3, I think it's a good time that I put you all in your corners and make you think about what you did for approximately the next 5 minutes while we take a break.
Okay.
I've done nothing
wrong. I will not have learned from this.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
I'm okay with that.
So yeah, we're going to take a quick break. We are going to go check out whatever potential facilities our abodes have, the commode of the abode, as it were. And we will come back with some more adventures from Team X. So stay tuned. Okay, we are back with our game of Team X. And how did we lose her already? Guys.
I don't know. She's
Whose
just
turn-
off to one side.
Not my turn. Not
Whose
it.
turn was it to watch it?
It was you, actually.
Me?
It was your turn.
That was my
Yeah.
turn.
I mean, it's
Okay.
fine. She's like, she's right there. She didn't even leave the
We
room.
come back live
It's
and
all
say,
right.
oh God, where'd clues go already?
I was closing the door.
Okay.
Chase to make up his mind.
So,
he won't
okay,
leave.
welcome back, everyone. We are coming play some more Dungeons and Dragons here. Hopefully a little bit more interactive. That's my fault. So we, the heroes find themselves in this shadowy town. There are sources of light in this town.
Is the town's name Shadowtown?
It is not Shadowtown.
Okay,
No,
all right.
We are not in a Pokemon game, nor are we.
All right,
any of
listen.
the Zelda
Hey,
games.
You never know.
They may have dumb naming conventions here. Now, I've never been to the Shadow.
Well, listen, you always know where you are.
No,
in the
it's actually
Pokemon world.
Shadowville.
Shadowburg. Thank you.
Shadowburg. Shadowton.
Shadowville is that podunk nonsense
Yeah,
down the way.
That's that
This is
off-brand shit
Shadowburg.
down the road.
Man.
Those
This
are our
is-
rivals. We don't talk about that during
Fuck
the
Shadowville. You hear from the rampart. Be like, calm down.
Oh, Shadowton Cougars!
You have that one resident that's from
Cougars rule.
Shadowville.
Yes. Sports in the Shadowfell. That's what we're talking about.
Should
Which
I
is
invent
basically,
dark
we dump you
football?
outside and see who doesn't die. Because there's some scary ass.
Hockey by wasps.
Right. So the leader of the Shadar Kai has shown you to an inn that has, which once you get inside, it seems like even the light there struggles to move very far. But you see that they've it seems like they've overcome this in a way by making the rooms a little bit smaller. They've created more divided spaces, so that way, by having the lights in there, it seems like it's filling the room more. But even inside, it feels like the light. It's like having a flashlight when the batteries are not quite at full power anymore. The murk just seems to cling to everything. It almost seems like as you open the door, it tries to work its way in. Perhaps it's just a trick of the eye. Perhaps it is actually some kind of way that the physics work here. Don't know. But they've shown they've made arrangements for you to stay at an inn. He said, "Don't worry about the cost of the rooms, the cost of the food. That is covered.
Skeptical.
As long as you are within the city limits, you should be safe. The watch will keep the outside creatures from coming in. So I would say continue to move with caution, because we are in the Shadowfell, but you have if you do have any problems that you if you do run into any problems, find one of us, and we should be able to help you. One of us with the masks.
What's your name?
I have no name.
How am I supposed to find you?
Ask for the captain. They'll know who it is.
Okay.
And he takes his leave. You do notice that the folks that are actually working at the inn, they seem they look to be of the same ilk as the captain and the Shadar Kai you were with you, but these folks are not wearing masks. They're all very thin, lanky, elven features, but something that you've never seen on an elf. Something that you didn't you haven't ever seen on an elf before is that they have very old looking faces. Most elves, even whenever you've run into an elf, they're almost impossible to tell how old they are. They pretty much get to a certain age, which is like late 20s, early 30s, and they just seem to stop aging, regardless of how old they are. So this is something new. Same deathly pale skin. Obviously look very elven, but very elderly.
So it's more that they're old, or did they just look like that tired, worn kind of aged?
Little from column A, little from column B. So it's the kind of old where it's not necessarily it's not the year, it's the mileage.
Mm-hmm. City miles.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you see a 30-year-old meth addict, and they look kind of like they're 60. That's kind of the look the aesthetic that they seem like they're going for, at least as far as like the skincare regimen. It leaves something to be desired. They have not revealed their skin's freshest layer in some time.
They look like leather.
There's a dearth of moisturizer in the Shadowfell.
This is like this is almost like the before photos for like the dermabrasion stuff. So,
noted.
Yes. But you had mentioned that you might want to do some shopping.
Yeah, I'm looking for a place to sell that war pick that I picked up, because I picked it up and I realized I'm not very good at it, at using it.
Don't know how this works.
It's just kind of like, I was kind of weighing it out with my hands. I'm like, it's a little too heavy. So he wants to sell that, and he's also looking for a new journal and a new thing to write with.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So are you going to communicate this with the team, or are you just sort of slipping out?
Oh no, I would definitely tell them where I was going, what I want to do, to see if they want to come check out the shops as well.
When you mention checking out shops or going around town, there's a loud grumbling sound coming from Thunuk's stomach.
Thunuk has a mighty hunger.
I think that's probably like a slight tremor.
Yeah.
You're like, was that like a 1.3?
How are we on the Thunuk scale here?
The Thunuk hunger scale.
I think Thunuk's hunger starts at a mighty hunger. Like, we're talking like
starvation.
We're talking the grand slam with an extra side of everything.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Sounds amazing now. Actually, I want to see if
there's a mighty hunger.
I want to see if there's a Cracker Barrel around, and I'm going to order their largest breakfast and then pancakes on top of that.
Are there complete sidetrack? Are there Cracker Barrels down there?
I haven't seen one, and
because I don't have any here.
Are Cracker Barrels impressive in D&D?
Do Cracker Barrels exist in D&D?
Well, I mean, here.
We can invent one. We have coffee. Let's do.
I have a theory about Cracker Barrel that I'll save for table talk.
Okay.
But it's important, and we should discuss it.
Is it extra planner?
It is extra planar, but we'll get into it later.
I can live with that.
And this is developed by me and my sister, so it's just we'll talk later in table talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, I think there. God, there has to be a Cracker Barrel now.
We'll get into it later.
No. But there has to be like whatever that equivalent is. Right.
Oh, it's just a general store plus a restaurant, essentially.
It's tchotchke.
So it's like every tavern and inn ever.
That's true. That is true. But I think that'd be funny. Yeah, there would have to be like but you know what? So this isn't like, off of one of like I'm gonna steal from the chat here. It's not. You're not off of one of the main exits, so there wouldn't be like a Cracker Barrel here. You'd have to be near like, like near Sigil, absolutely. Right. Cracker Barrels abound.
They're bountiful.
Sigil is the big exit. So basically, like unlike Starbucks, which is on every corner, it's a Cracker Barrel in every corner.
Mm-hmm. Across from
every portal has a Cracker Barrel nearby.
Cracker Barrel,
you're never 100 feet from a Cracker Barrel.
And in certain areas, it's a Steak and Shake right nearby, and someone has to know what Steak and Shake is. Never mind. Anyways,
I know what a Steak and Shake is.
I know that you do.
Anyway, dozens of them.
Guys, I can tell this is one of those times where we're just going to start getting down a path here.
That's why I said table talk, and then we continue to explore.
It's my fault. This point of time, it's my fault. So Thunuk wants to find a place to eat. Eno wants to go shopping to sell the war pick and to see if he could find a new journal. And
Hugon would like to be healed, have a bath, and sleep.
Okay.
Those are the things that he wants in that order.
Okay. So you're going to be probably looking for the apothecary.
Yeah.
Someone who can help you out on that front. Is there anything that Drenmai wants
besides
to
Googling Cracker Barrels? Not particularly. I think I have everything with me that I need. Probably just be following. If we've been like lacking good food, I'd probably be with Thunuk right there. Like, yeah, food.
I mean, we've been going strong since this morning, and this morning was a monastery in the snowbound mountains. Possibly this morning, because we don't know how much time has actually passed since we got here. Mm-hmm. So imagine we're kind of peckish. Mm-hmm. But also, it reminds me I should be is noticing that we're all pretty messed up. In fact, he feels a little messed up, overly so. And he, as we're going to the inn, and before, like as we're discussing, like going around town, he's kind of under his breath is doing a quick prayer to the forest, specifically to Winter, because he wants these burns, these burning sensations from the stings to to cool off and be soothed by the somehow.
So would this be? Is it him casting a spell, or is it him just saying, "Please, gods, get rid of the burning"?
A little bit of both, because his prayer spells are not very formal, so it's like someone writing a letter home from summer camp.
And Winter is like the uncle that you have to kind of tiptoe around.
Sometimes he's also the one that he's the weird uncle who gives you treats and comic books. Yeah.
He's got the scary. He's kind of scary, but at the same time,
that weird collection of swords and fictional gun paraphernalia. But
you're not allowed to go into his gun safe ever.
No pun intended. But he's kind of like the cool uncle, right? Where
yeah.
It's but he's a little scary. Like there's a few question marks there about maybe he did.
What did he do for a living back in the '60s? That he's got that,
and maybe he's done jail time, but no one wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
there's this song people he hears that song by Johnny Cash about how he killed a man in Reno once, and the look on his face is a little too close to home.
Yeah. Don't play Johnny Cash around Uncle Winter.
Pretty much.
He's a little too spirited when he sings "I Shot the Sheriff."
He's always got moonshine somewhere somehow.
There's that one bathtub you just don't use.
Oh gosh!
Now that we've described what Uncle Winter looks like, or what he's like
in great detail,
we have to equate it somehow so that it works. So you do. Is that is the spell is that a D4 back, or what is that? How's the spell?
No, this is Prayer of Healing. It hits up to 6.
Wow.
People.
6 people. Oh, wow. So you could hit the entire party here.
Well, 6 creatures, yeah. I mean, I could have used this at any given time, but I was like, I should hold off on this because this is my last spell slot.
That was a wise decision, I think.
I sense a long rest coming, so I feel okay about using this for flavor.
Sweet summer's child.
The Nook's gonna eat. The Nook's gonna sleep. On the spot. Finish last spoon.
So Eno would be like, rest first or eat first, and then I guess you would cast this, right?
Well, he's basically doing it, praying while he's saying this.
Yeah.
While this is all happening. But the moment he finishes, like you probably finished your question at the same time. He's like, "Eat. I'm hungry," and everyone gains. Oh dang! This is 2d8 plus 4.
Wow,
17 hit points.
Jesus, dude.
Nice.
I sadly gain nothing.
That tops me off.
You didn't take any damage?
No,
I
she's still
took
on
damage,
bonus
but I'm
points.
still net positive.
Oh,
She's still on the bonus
How long do
points.
those temporary hit points last?
I think until
I don't
long
know.
rest.
I'm 67 out of 40 currently.
I mean, I'm not mad.
Like I said, I'm the world's smallest tank right now.
The world's littlest tank. The little tank that could.
It's like the gnome warriors from WoW.
Yeah.
oh God.
So, right. Okay, so you cast this healing spell, and this cool, soothing, aloe-like, wintergreen feeling comes over you.
What are you doing to me? Stop. I don't need it.
Well, I mean, there was that little bird. You don't realize.
It's like somebody put. It's like an Altoid for the soul.
Yeah, it is. It is. An Altoid
Like,
for the
oh,
soul.
Woo!
No, more like a Mentos for the soul. Do 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 do.
Mentos.
That means that I would be soda pop.
Soul freshener.
The soul freshener.
I
Okay, so is everyone going to stick together and eat? Is it going to is it going to be shop then eat? Or is everyone splitting up?
I imagine
This
we
is like
can
a normal
probably
vacation
find.
for people, right? It's like, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to go eat. Well, we want to go shopping. Well, maybe we should shop at Maybe we should eat that shopping.
Yeah, no, I don't deal with that well.
I don't travel with you.
this is why I don't go shopping.
Online.
What do you want to
shopping.
do? I have exactly one thing that I need or want, and I'm going to go in and buy it, and then I'm going to leave.
Uh-huh.
Well, you don't want to like walk around? Like, fuck no. Why would I want to walk around? I'm not here because it's fun.
That's what Amazon is for.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what online delivery's for.
All right, so
Thunuk's gonna follow his nose.
okay, so
I'm riding the Nooks.
and his nose.
We're going to food.
Okay, so we're gonna hold that for a second. Hugon, are you following your nose, or are you going shopping?
I'm going
'Cause
to.
you got the healing part pretty much squared away
Yeah,
for the moment.
healing part's squared. I need. Probably, I would like to bathe.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on what the bathwater looks like.
So they show you up to where the baths are in the inn, and the closest approximation you can make is the water looks a bit like very clean swamp water, and that's not really saying that much.
Fuck that. We're not doing this.
It has a viscous quality to it.
I'll just get like some sand or some shit and handle it that way.
Do the sand bath.
Yeah.
And are you just passing out for the night? Are you doing the whole?
I don't know about passing out, but like Hugon is going to probably take a room to himself and then not leave it.
Just to, like, not even like the
Yeah,
mask.
I think that's pretty much.
Mask finally comes off. The armor's off. and
Room
then-
service.
Yeah.
Well, no, the armor doesn't have to come off. You can just dismiss the armor.
Yeah, that's essentially what happens. It's just like finally he's like it like peels from his face. The mask does. The armor comes off. And as soon as no one's around to see it, but as soon as the mask comes off, that shape that's been behind him vanishes.
Yeah.
And now he's in complete darkness because he can't see in the dark now.
Well, no,
I assume
there's lamps available in the room.
Cool.
Yeah, but again, it is a dark that is pervasive, and the lantern does not penetrate deeply into the room. The corners are still shaded. Where this lamp, even when you have it cranked up all the way, in a normal room, the room would be very brightly lit, but here it's still kind of contained. All right, Eno, let's go shopping, and then we're gonna come back to some to to the biggest and littlest members of the group in there.
We are nothing if not food people.
Yes.
It's true.
So Eno, you're gonna go. You're gonna do a little shopping here, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm looking for like a blacksmith or something, like shop that sells weaponry to sell this thing to.
So you can follow your ears. Despite being in the Shadowfell, despite the pervasive cold and the constant unwelcome memories from offering a various cross section of your life, much like if you sawed open a log and you could count the rings and see, oh, this year didn't have very much water. This is pretty much constantly going on unbidden, and you're able to shoo the memories away, but they always kind of creep their way back in. But despite all of this, despite this alien landscape that you're in, the town still sounds like a town. You're able to hear there's people walking around the streets, maybe not quite as much laughter as you're used to. It is a larger town than most. It's not Waterdavian by any stretch of the imagination. As far in terms of size, big enough where it has a wall, so you're able to kind of get your bearings about you, and you're able to follow your ears to the clanging of a hammer on an anvil, and you're able to find a blacksmith. Again, Shadar Kai working away at the steel between the forge and sparks flying as he hammers whatever tool he's currently working on, and he sees you and he stops and he puts his tools down. He lays the tongs and whatever he's working on the anvil there, and you can see it starts to cool down from the bright yellow down to a cherry red, and he wipes his hand. He takes off his gloves, wipes his hands on his apron real quick. And little on the pant leg there, and he walks over and he goes, "How may I help you? How may I be of service?"
And kind of slides this war pick out of his bag, and he goes, "We see I've recently come across this item, and I would like to rid myself of it, perhaps in exchange for some gold or." What would you give me for this? He kind of holds it up.
May I examine it?
And yeah, he says, hands it over. Sure.
Mm-hmm. And he picks it up and he looks at it, and he sights down the haft, and you see he gives a look, and then he tests the balance. And he twirls it a couple of, he kind of does that spin, that wrist, the wrist spin to kind of get a feel for the balance of it. And, he's tapping on it. He takes a little hammer and he taps on it. And he's like listening to it. And he says, "Do you mind if I do a quick test on this? Nothing that will damage it."
Go right ahead.
And
as long as it's not on me.
He goes, no, not on you. And he goes over, and there's like it looks like a dummy stuffed with hay and straw, and he comes over to it, and he he takes a couple like almost like practice swings, like not that he's actually hitting it, he's just kind of lining up the shot, and then he takes 3 quick swipes at this thing and absolutely eviscerates this dummy. The head is like split, like this would have almost decapitated. If this was a person, the head would be hanging by a thread. Guts would have been spilling out all over the ground. An arm would have fallen off. This person would be no more. And he looks at it, and he's got a look of pride, and he goes, "It will kill. Yes, I think I can take this off your hands. How much would you be looking for something like this?"
Well, I know it's not a magic weapon, right?
No, it's just a very well made.
Yeah.
It's dwarven craftsmanship, essentially.
Dwarven craftsmanship.
Yeah, so
Except
you gotta
Dwergar
sell this to him a
craftsmanship.
little bit there. You gotta sell it.
Yeah. He says, well, I did bring it from a very far distance, and it does have quite a good craftsmanship. 50 gold?
Haggle! Begin the haggling!
He's like,
haggle minigame. Begin.
I can't do 50 for this. No, I mean it's very. You're right. It is very well made. I could tell that this is of. It appears to be of. Is Dwergar, Grey Dwarf make?
I believe so. Yes.
But it has also seen some action before. It has. You can see there's some pitting here, and he like points out a couple of like the little flaws. He goes, "It is well made, but I don't think I can do. I don't think I could do 50. Perhaps.
Well, it's
closer to 20.
Well, it doesn't need to be broken in. That's for sure. So yeah, let me try a persuasion check. I'll say, well, I have come a long way, and I really need to get some provisions so that we can help your people. How about 40?
Let's see a persuasion check here.
Okay, that's a 7.
Oh,
says,
no.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Oh, no.
No,
hit square when he should hit circle.
I
The
appreciate
QTE is not working out for you.
I appreciate that you've come a long distance. That is not lost on me. We have many people who come from a very far distance, but I don't think I can do 40 because I would not be able to sell it for that much again, and I would have to turn some kind of profit on this. I could do maybe 25, but it's difficult unless there's a good story that goes with this. It's difficult for an artifact such as this to move. Move it once
you see, and I think I would try like a performance for him, and I would say, well, you see, there was this huge metal creature, and I struck it down with darkness, and it just dissolved into nothingness.
Give me a performance roll. Give me.
Okay.
Performative haggling. I like it.
Oh my God! All right. It's a 1, but it's plus 10, so it's 11. I got a critical fail.
This is our first critical
11.
fail, I think.
Plus 10.
Plus 10.
Yeah.
He says.
Ever?
Oh, I'm sure we've had crits.
No, because I've rolled a critical fail.
He says, I don't know that I can come above 25. Your story is very good. I cannot tell it as well, and I don't think I'd be able to resell it at the price.
And sighs, and he's like, okay, 25. He's very deflated.
And he says he pulls out the gold, and he counts out the right amount. You can see they're all the correct weight, but they're all of different currencies. There's Shadowfell probably doesn't have very much of its own currency. It's pretty much brought in from whoever stops by. But you're able to find the equivalent. He's able to give you the equivalent of 25 gold. And he breaks it down, and you can see he takes the war pick and he wraps it up in some cloth, and you can see he stows it into a closet. Whether that whatever he's gonna do with it later, maybe it stays in the closet, maybe he sells it, maybe he melts it down for the metal. Who knows?
And he says, a pleasure doing business with you.
You as well. It's a good story. You should tell that story more often. You should tell it to everyone, I'm sure.
I'll workshop it.
And he goes back to working on his project there. So we're going to come back to the second part of your shopping trip in just a moment. Hugon, the food that you ordered is delivered.
Does Hugon have PTSD of doors being knocked down?
No, I would.
Okay,
I wouldn't say
good.
it.
There's a knock.
Like that sudden, like, oh God, is it her?
Oh God. Only that specific knock.
Mhm. And like you're a very tiny person, so
Yeah, it comes from way down at the bottom.
But surprisingly, it's a surprisingly robust knock, given that she has like an 18 strength or something like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty strong. I'm a strong boy.
It sounds like the knock that cops do, but it's like 2 feet from the bottom of the door.
Well, are you kicking my door?
So the food is delivered, and it's basically it's a plate of brown.
Yeah, okay.
Like a grayish brown.
Yeah, and he just eats it. It's a totally mechanical action. It's like you can't even taste it.
You are not hungry, but you are not you are filled but not satiated by it. I guess is the best way to put that.
It's something that I have to do to keep moving. It's not like
it served its only purpose, which was to make your stomach temporarily not empty.
Yeah,
it's calories.
Yeah, it's calories.
Basically, it's calories. Give me a perception check.
Okay. I've got a 17.
The spot where the wasp had crawled under your armor and bit you is still a little itchy.
I'll have to talk to Fennec about that.
Yes.
But it's not like there's not like a wasp trying to crawl out of it or anything like that. Yet.
Not
Yet.
Not that you could see. So Drenmai, Thonic.
Food.
Let's see. I want to see which way your noses take you. Both of you, let's go with that. Let's get a hunger check. That would be,
hanger check.
How hungry am I?
A hanger. How much hanger?
I'm a 12, so I'd imagine that's like big for a small.
Yeah, that's 12 by like gnome standards.
2.
Which is still big by you know.
By Thunuk
remember,
standards.
the Thunuk hunger scale starts at mighty hunger.
Yep.
So
Yes.
we're a step above that.
One step past.
But I think Drenmai is probably doing the ratatouille thing and kind of like guiding him. Like
I've probably got like a good sense of smell, so it's like go that way.
Mm-hmm.
Lean.
So you're kind of wandering through the streets, following the smells of something that actually smells kind of good, which is standing out within this whole town. Again, we're talking about a land that is almost completely awash in grays.
Yeah, how does anything grow here?
That's a good question.
I imagine like Thunuk would at some point get to this. Like, there's not a whole heck of a lot of nature because it's not like things grow here.
The smell that you're picking up on though is mushroom.
Okay. Yes.
You're smelling and you able to you're able to find what looks to be some kind of diner situation, a diner setup. It's kind of like an outdoor setup where you have seats that are in front of the window, and you order right there. It's right. You're sitting like basically right on the.
Those are the best.
Right in the sidewalk. And this one is Gloom and Shroom. The Gloom and Shroom Diner. And I'm writing this down so I don't forget it. Gloom and Shroom. And there are actually some pretty delicious smells coming from inside there. You can tell pretty much everything on the menu is somehow mushroom or mushroom adjacent, with somehow some kind of breads. But everything, they're able to put this together. But everything is some kind of mushroom, fungi, something in there.
I'm looking for like a mushroom like burger essentially, because I imagine they can do bread here because that doesn't take anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like looking for
you can make bread out of mushroom
burger.
They do have something that when the so it's basically like it's a cook in the back, just food stands all up and down the apron, working whatever stoves and ovens are in the back there, and then you've got a waiter who's basically taking the orders. And when you ask, he goes, we do have something, I think, that would suffice if you would like me to bring that out to you. Do you want it hot, spicy, or mild?
Oh, spicy.
Spicy. And he turns to Euthanac and he goes, and what can we bring you, my large friend?
Does he fit? He's hunched over in the stall.
Yeah. It's like even sitting down, like almost taking up 2 seats, like hunched over, like almost hitting like the canopy with your head, like kind of like in the window there, like just, but the nose is like pressed like right up against like the glass, right? Just like, and you get like the breath coming out from. Like,
you hear the glass creak in the pane.
But no, you see like the vapor coming out of the nose onto the glass,
Mm-hmm. A very large dog is trying to look out the window.
Yes.
But in the other way around. Thunic is going to look for. He just wants a pile of something. So one of our favorite things in that.
It's funny you should say that. We do have the one dish that is pile of fungus. And he points to it on the menu, and that's exactly what it is. And it's.
Is it by any chance? Is this? This is just the diner, so this place wouldn't have like a man versus food style thing, where
how much can you eat? Ha 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 ha.
You see like drawings on the board of
they
people
do now.
He sees whatever that is.
Yeah.
It does not register to him that this is a challenge. He's just like, that is a menu item.
And he says, well, I think you might be able to do it.
I'd like 2.
Oh. You want to try doing a double?
Is that not normal?
Oh, honey. Oh, we're going to have fun.
Okay.
So you hear her yell out. She goes, or he turns around and he goes, Cookie, we need a head blaster burger, and we need a fungus challenge double. And he stops and he says, a double? Yup. Big boy here wants to do 2. And he turns, and he hadn't turned around before, and he stops. He's like, holy crap on a stick. Yeah, okay, a double. Here we go.
He leans back over towards the windows like, are there any dipping sauces with that?
I want the variety tray.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we could absolutely. And he brings out like a flight of like the different sauces, like of different viscosities and colors and everything, and nothing's really labeled. Some are like very vinegary.
Just figure it out. You're a big boy.
Some are like thick. It almost looks like a blue cheese situation happening there. So they bring him out. So Dren, he brings you. Guys, how do we always end up talking about food in this stream?
Because we love it.
It's called Eat, Drink, Roll, goddammit.
Exactly.
We actually also...
It's like bagel with mushroom.
Also, I haven't eaten, so this is like psychic nourishment.
This is like
yeah.
This is our unique
what do you
selling
think
proposition.
We're all gonna do after this.
Yeah.
We start and end at like tail ends of like meal times for each of the coasts. Yep. So by the time we are halfway through a game, everyone is hungry.
Man.
Pretty much.
Critical Role is about adventuring and killing everything. DCA
is
about
food.
family. C Team is about finding home, and we're about food.
We're about food.
So,
and there's really nothing more important than any of those things than food.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It is. So so the cook finishes making this little plate and brings out what looks to be like a darkly colored pub roll type situation, because they probably made it out of some kind of like whatever grain you're gonna get that grows in the dark, right? And then there's this thick portobello looking mushroom on this that came, you saw it come right off the grill. It was just oozing.
And I want it with cheese.
Oh, this thing is dripping in this thick bubble. So have you ever seen it? So what they did was they have this element there that has this giant wheel of cheese, a half wheel of cheese. It's 2 of them actually. And the top part
and they
of this
scrape
thing,
it off.
and it's
like
and he spins around and he just takes a knife and
he just groups it off. Yeah, that's what I want.
Right
I want it mostly cheese.
And then he puts a pickle on top.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But the cheese
down.
you can see has little red flakes in it.
Okay.
All right. And he brings this over to you. This burger for like a normal sized human, right? Would be a 2-hander.
Yeah, this is a Gideon portion of burger.
This is a 2-hander.
This is
Once you start, you're not putting it down because you will never be able to pick it back up again.
Yeah.
You just got to get
those are
there.
the best.
If you've ever seen the picture I posted of the Warhammer burger, this is like akin to that size, right? Halfway through the meat.
Also one Gideon portion.
Yes. Thilnik.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what's going to be in this challenge here. What is he going to bring out? So, in addition to the pile of fungus, which is quite literally a plate that is piled about 10 inches high, dripping off the sides with just all different sorts of grilled mushrooms, funguses, and edible molds, essentially.
Tubers.
It is brought to you with some kind of potato preparation that you're not sure quite. Not sure. It's like those purple potatoes, but a slightly different consistency. But they're just. It is a bowl of these things that have been roasted and seasoned, and then they do the same thing. They go back over to that they turn the thing around and they have the half wheel of cheese and they get it all bubbly, and they just peel it right off on top there. So now you've got this bowl, which again for a human, is about, a popcorn bowl sized thing of just nothing but potatoes and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
That in and of itself is probably at least 1,200 calories. Plus you've got this. Then they bring
like 8,000 in cheese.
And then and then there's that, and then they bring out the third part of this, which is the fried root vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
So they're bringing out, it looks like carrots and onions and all sorts beets, and they everything has been deep fried, battered, deep fried, sitting in front of you, and you get the impression that's for the dipping sauces.
He has 2 of everything.
Well, they doubled the portions of all of this.
Oh, they just put it all. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So usually the challenge is half of what all this is, but all 3 of these things. They basically had to bring out like the mixing bowl and fill it with potatoes, and they had to bring out the mixing bowl and fill it with mushrooms, and so they've put this down. So
Luke has broken out his custom fork and knife that was made for him when he was a kid. It's basically, obviously, a garden trowel, and a garden fork just been hammered out and turned into eating
He's got
utensils.
the garden claw that's just been smacked flat.
Yeah.
It's actually a weapon for anybody else.
So he has a trident and like that pickaxe shovel.
Yep.
I love it. So
like his spoon is probably like an entrenching tool that's been repurposed for eating.
It's like a Spetsnaz shovel.
So
it's just not sharpened.
As you guys dive into this, let's get some constitution checks.
Heck yeah.
Wait. This is my first constitution check.
What number is that? 17.
Okay, so with that 17, this is a spicy burger.
Heck yeah.
Your ears start turning red. 2 bites in, you're already starting to feel that flop sweat.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure if it's from the cheese, if it's from the richness of this mushroom, or if it's just from the utter level of spice. The spice is just it's a meatless sweat. It's a meatless Monday sweat, a vegan sweat.
Yes.
You're not sure, but you know what? The spice is right there. It moves up to that, right to the edge of intolerable, where it switches from being this is really good to now it's just a dare, but it stays on the right side of it. So, Thonek, what is your
I haven't rolled yet. I was checking on something. I could have sworn I had some verbal constitution thing, but I guess I don't. It's a shame.
Roll well.
Ooh. So it's whatever I roll plus. This is not a saving throw. This is a check.
Just a check.
You would still add your proficiency bonus, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
If you're proficient in con
are you
checks.
proficient in Constitution?
I am not.
If you're not, then it's just your modifier.
Yeah.
I check. How do you know you're proficient? I forget.
It would match your save proficiencies.
It would be
no, I'm not.
Yeah. Okay.
I think my proficiencies are in wisdom.
Mine would have been even more.
Well, that's nice, but you already won.
I want to win harder.
Shut up! You've already crossed the finish line.
Wait, you're eating. Roll for initiative with your food.
I get to fight my food.
There's something alive in there, and you think that that's normal for them.
Now I want to fight my food. Can I invent a mushroom monster?
No, you cannot.
Just stitched together.
Because
it's stitched together with chives.
No, we're not doing this. No homunculi. No homunculi for Dren.
Everywhere.
He already has that annoying ass dragon.
She
doesn't need
homunculi.
19, by the way. Unless, of course, I had this proficiency, which I don't think
No, I don't think you do. So what would Thonek's plan of attack be with a home run derby plate like this?
Oh man. At first it's like put the napkin in.
Yeah. And
he's like, And he's really hungry. You can tell like he just wants to go Garfield on
Pick
this.
it up and like
yeah, pretty much. But he's like, I'm in front of strangers. I was taught to be polite. I should be polite. So he's like, it's basically there's gigantic portions for everyone else, but they're just like barely large enough to small enough to register as going on his fork and in his mouth. And as he goes further and further into this, the chunks get bigger, and his ability,
He's gaining momentum.
He's gaining momentum. His ability to control his just like his hunger, his like, I'm going to eat all of this just like in one fell swoop, just starts melting away. And it starts as dainty, and it just turns into like full on. Is his face in the bowl, or is his bowl on his face? We can't tell.
So we're gonna come back to this. So you're doing some shopping here. You're looking now for a place where you could buy outside of the before we get to this, anyone who's listening to the podcast, you absolutely have to come and watch the VOD of this, because in the chat they're making some interesting suggestions for the food that could potentially be served here that may or may not contain various
I'm not watching
bugs.
Chat.
So I would recommend that you watch the
VOD. I'm responsible for this.
It's fine. It's fine. I endorse all of this.
I'm really hungry, so I'm inventing food. So this is how I'm coping.
That's fine. Honeyed locust atop porcinis. There you go.
Ooh.
Little crispy fried locust dipped in honey, dropped on top of those porcini salad. Maybe served with something sour.
Okay, so completely off topic. So I pulled up our stream because now I want to see the food chat.
Yeah.
No joke. The ad that they played beforehand was chicken wings and burger with ranch and just all kinds of food stuff. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Twitch is starting to figure out what's on brand for us. So that's excellent. And there you go, the spider leg fish skewers.
Hugon will not eat those, but they exist.
We do have a quest to go get some spider legs.
Fuck y'all, I'm not doing that quest.
So Eno, as you're aside from trying to find the journal, were there other things that you were looking to potentially purchase?
Just a journal and something to write with. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of gold, to try and get anything, magic wise or anything like that. But yeah, like a journal, something to write with, and he knows that paper is probably a premium down here. There hasn't been any trees, right? So
it's tough to say. Yeah, the landscape.
You can make paper out of mushroom pulp. Mycelium paper. Yeah.
Make leather out of it too.
Yeah, and bread and pretty much goddamned anything you would like.
Yeah. Just like you can eat anything, you can make paper from anything.
I don't know about that, but I don't know enough about the paper making process to dispute you aggressively. So we're just gonna roll with it.
So as you're doing your shopping, and trying to find some place that could have what you're looking for, you do happen upon Drenmai and Thonik. Thonik, who and you're seeing like the polar opposites, as far ends of the spectrum as you could possibly find. You've got Dren, who's tiny on this little stool, who barely reaches the counter, who is face first into this burger.
I imagine that would help me though, because I'm short. So the table's like right here. So I'm like eye level with food. So I don't have to pick it up so much as just kind of move it towards me.
You can just get the chin like right there and just sort of push
the
food
right there and
into
just
the
kind of
zone.
funnel it to the mouth.
And then you see Thonik, who is large even by Fearbolg standards, standing there at 10 foot, crammed into this little area here. Oh, God, no. Centipedes cannot be a pasta replacement.
Yes, they can.
No. Ugh. And
don't you manage me.
But both of them with proportionally sized huge meals in front of them. Drenmai with this enormous burger proportionally to her, and Thunik with an enormous just bowls of food. Just bowls of them.
Takes up multiple spaces.
Yes, it's and they're both just hoovering. Like they're doing D12 damage, like 3D12 damage to this food here, right? But I would like to see another Constitution check as we get a little bit further into their foods from Drenmai and from Thunik.
And sort of as Eno looks over and sees them, it's like an open air thing. Would he be able to say something to them?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So he says, "Hey, could you bring me something? When you're done, I'm a little hungry too." And then he just keeps walking.
All right. So before the Constitution check, let's do a perception check. I want to know at disadvantage. I want to know if either one of you actually bothered to hear him.
Shut up!
We hear him over the crunching.
All right.
Can't talk eating.
Probably not. I gotta hold on. 9.
Okay.
Am I rolling?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You too.
What am I rolling? What am I rolling for?
Perception at disadvantage.
At disadvantage? Oh, well, that's not going to matter much. Jesus, that was terrible. So, 4?
4. And what was Thunik's?
I rolled a 2 and a 3.
9.
9. Neither one of you're Drenmai, you have 0 knowledge of Eno being anywhere near you.
Yeah. And Eno doesn't even bother to wait and see if they've heard. He's just says, "Hey, could you bring me something when you're done?" "Great, thanks." And then he keeps walking.
This is a case because Eno doesn't know these two well enough. Like Hugon would have made sure to guys, the eye contact, right? But
hey,
focus.
Thonik, you're vaguely aware that Eno walked by and said something to you, but your mighty hunger has overtaken you.
Okay.
Now let's see those Constitution checks. That was what I had asked for before.
Oh,
Okay, I can't check.
it was Jack.
So 12.
Better.
12. Okay.
17 is the final one. But
Okay.
if you want to go for the Quantum Jack, it was a 9, a 19, and a 12.
Quantum Jack.
So Drenmai.
I had 3 sides up at once somehow.
Drenmai, it's
starting to get to me.
it's getting spicy.
It is a spicy.
It is a spicy.
But you essentially just begin to
shit.
Just
sweat.
In, out.
Sweat
Yes.
starting to get into the eyes. And you're feeling the tingle on the lips now. That they're kind of like, and now the burn's getting in the back of the throat.
Right before the numbing.
Yeah. You're getting there to the point where it's like, you know what? You're starting to think, you're starting to wonder if they have any dairy products to kind of counterbalance.
Oh yeah, they've got roach milk.
Yeah, you know what, Drenmai,
welcome to the Shadowfell.
Thonuk, you're holding strong here. You're doing some damage.
Thonuk slows down because he remembers he's got a flight of sauces.
He hasn't even touched the sauces.
Hasn't touched the sauces.
Need to investigate those, my buddy.
He becomes very self-conscious suddenly. Like,
very, very dainty, pinky
up, pinky up.
Doesn't know why.
Oh. He's holding some random piece of tuber or something.
I like the long face.
I like how probably the rest of his face is absolutely filthy, but it's like, I'm gonna be now.
Somewhere in the multiverse, you're hearing the Four Seasons by Vivaldi playing. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. So as you go along your way, you're able to stumble across what looks to be a general purveyor of goods and sundries that you think might have what you're looking for in order to get the journal that you need.
Okay. So I go into the shop
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking around for blank books.
Blank books. So you start.
Yeah, books that I can write in.
You can write in any book if you're not a coward.
I keep on thinking of Van Halen. I got my pencil. Give me something to write on.
Give me something to write on.
So you're able to look at the various books. I mean, the shop is pretty well organized, but the purveyor kind of like is making some notes in a ledger, and he looks up and he kind of gives you like this kind of haughty look, kind of like not worth my time to even greet.
A peasant has entered my shop.
Exactly, a peasant has entered my shop.
Which is the fastest way to get killed by Hugon. If you didn't know that, is calling him a peasant.
So he kind of like gives you like a little, like the smallest acknowledgement, but you've seen this before where it's like, oh, no money, very well, peruse. But you can see he's kind of keeping an eye on you out of the corner of his eye, like he's waiting.
See how smug he is with 4 less fingers.
Oh, God.
He's keeping to make sure you don't nick anything. So, give me an investigation check.
Okay. What the fuck? Okay, that's a 3. That's another critical fail.
You're not sure you know what a book is.
Yeah, I'm like.
Wait, are these? No, these aren't books. I've heard of these.
Books.
These are unbooks.
Entered a taco shop.
Damn it!
Turns out you're
wandered into a boot. I've wandered into a boot store, not a bookstore. I can't write on these.
This
is awful.
Who directed me to
or
this?
Can you? We've invented.
You're like disassembling a boot and like looking at the letter, like, maybe. I doubt it.
No. This one's already been written on. No.
Yeah. So I might look over. So I'm looking around. I'm like, and I look over to the shopkeeper, and I'm like, books,
Yes,
book. I can write. I can write in.
Do thing.
I
can do
right.
thing.
Books, and he
On
kind of gets this big. Yes, books, the things that you read. How may I help you?
No. I want to write. I want to write, not read.
Do not
Opposite.
write in the books. You're not supposed to write in the books.
But I want a book I can write in. That I can write my own book. I'm writing my own book. I'm going to write a book.
And he kind of gives you this look like, is this person able to write? And he like the biggest effort, like shoulders slump, pen gets slammed down because obviously this was more important than helping you. And he kind of like glides around the outside, around from behind the counter. Kind of like his head stays in one position, but like the shoulders come around, and it's very, the feet are kind of almost moving independently from his body, the way he like kind of moves around the room here. Footsteps just too short, and
calling them paper tacos from now on.
I need a paper taco. What the fuck is wrong with you? What is that? Not what this is called? No, this is a book.
Paper taco.
I call it paper tacos.
Do you want a soft shell? You want the soft shell or the hard shell? They come in both. And then, of course, they'll never try to eat it because, tacos. And then
this taco tastes like wood pulp.
Scrolls are paper burritos. Okay, I'm done. I swear.
Paper crepes.
He like
envelopes.
We make it come back to food every time.
He leads you over.
Envelopes are paper pitas. Okay, I'm done.
It's okay.
Mission
I think we
accomplished.
broke our DM, but
It's
Thanks,
the chat's
chat.
fault. Thanks,
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah, hopefully
Appreciate
chat.
I need to think about.
Come on back, Brian.
I
Come
need to-
on
Bring
back.
them back.
I need to think
Bring it
about
on
the
back.
choices I've made in my life that have led me here to this moment.
most of them were good.
Most of them.
I don't know. I have a lot of questions now. So
Or you
Like,
could
could you
just,
dare-
I mean, you could just ignore the questions that you have. It works for a lot of people.
there's always madness. Madness is the emergency exit.
Yeah.
And he very haughtily comes around the counter, and he like comes over to the books, and he goes, "The books are here. You're looking for one that has blank pages, it appears." And he like rifles through it. He pulls out like 3 of them, and he goes, "Here are 3 of them that you can look at. Decide on one and purchase one."
Blank, exactly. Blank. That's the word I was
That's
looking
the
for.
word I was looking.
And
I'm
it was
so
an unbook
happy-
at one point, but
And I'm so
now I have it.
thrilled that you found it.
So how much are these books?
He says, "These are fine bound leather editions with exotic papers, and the ink just soaks into them so very. I don't even know if you can afford this.
I'm so glad that Hugon isn't shopping with you.
This is
Yeah.
beyond. This is beyond your station."
What station are we on?
I'm waiting for you to try and steal them. That's going to be the best part. It's like,
Sleight of hand.
look over there. Grab a tome.
He
And,
says, "My boy, I think that this is more than. You say you are writing a book. Is this a book of pictures?"
Well, I'm not much of an artist with pictures,
Clearly.
but I guess I'm somewhat of a wordsmith. Well, usually,
But not today, apparently.
I guess.
Let me see if I have something in the back that you can afford. What is
yes,
your
leave
Oh,
the
what is your
I also need something to write with, too. So maybe like could come with something to write with. Be
of
great.
Course you do. You want the combo package.
That would be great. Yeah, combo.
And he takes the books, reshelves them, goes around to the counter, and he's kind of like rooting around underneath the counter trying to find a book.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes back up. And it's this
comes with a large soda.
This
hey, while he's gone, steal his shit.
I'm rolling like shit tonight. I'm not gonna try. God damn it!
And he
rolled 2 fucking ones in a row.
You have.
Finds one that it looks like the cover is about to fall off of it. Like it's a leather cover, but it looks. You know how like leather when it gets really old and if you don't take care of it, it gets kind of like that. It starts to peel and crack. And it just looks bad, and like certain like the cover is actually like curling up as it's been drying out, and you can see that there's like pages missing from it that have just been bodily torn out, and you know this is this is in rough shape, and he pulls that one out and he finds like this old. It looks like a quill that has like feathers missing from it, and it's like barely got the nub of it left, and he puts that inside and he says, "If I let you have this for 10 gold, will you go away?"
And looks at what he's offering and goes, 10?
Yes. 10.
And he he takes out his lute and he goes, how about 5 in a song?
How about 5?
How about I call the guards?
How about 5? No song, and you never darken my shop's doorstep again.
Or Brighton, in this case.
No song. I pity you, good sir. But 5 it is then. And
a deal is made.
He hands over 5 gold.
We call that
shitty journal.
Frustration, Mancy.
Does it look like I can maybe like fix it up like with some duct tape or something like that?
With D&D duct tape?
Yeah, is duct tape impressive in D&D?
I'm sure there's something that you would have to spend some time working with it, but you could probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you would have to like. Did you take the skill book mending, or antique restoration?
No, I think I have disguise kits.
Oh.
I could disguise it to look better.
disguise it to not look like shit.
It's not actually a better book. It just has it's you like putting like a different cover on it. It's like you get like the brown paper bag thing you do for your textbooks in school and cover it and draw on it and so on your way out you have this you pass by Dren and Thunuk again.
Okay.
Drenmai and Thunuk, let's get a final constitution check.
Round 3.
Fight.
Ready. A new challenger.
Okay.
Oh. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
Yeah, this AI dice is really serving me well today.
21.
21. So Thunuk,
much better.
You're able to
gain my second wind.
Yeah. So Drenmai gets her second wind, is able to shake off the spice and like, nope, not gonna beat me. Deep breath, and just plow right at cheese all over the face, dripping down. It's grease down to your elbows. You really can't see if there's any grease on her clothes because, well, was it there before?
That's just the normal state of things.
Exactly.
But
it's like in your hair, like it's
God,
like,
stop.
It's everywhere. And then Thunuk, powers through. Like didn't even need to like really like take a deep breath at any point. There was never that moment of like when you're trying to power through a meal where it's just like, that big never occurred to Thunuk. He just kept on going and just filled and filled and filled. And finally, you're down to like the dregs of like what's left in the dipping sauces. And you're like in there with your finger, you know, getting it in there to get it cleaned out and, you know, getting it in there. And
Except your finger is like hitting the, it can't fit in the ramekin.
Yeah, more like the pinky. Like the pinky's getting in there and like really trying to like you're trying to get like lick it, trying to just get that last little bit of flavor. And the waiter at this point, like you've almost drawn a crowd, the two of you. There's like people that have like gathered around to watch this because, you know, it's like the food challenge. You know, hey, everybody doing a food challenge. But this I was like, and this boy's doing a double. And so, you know, as you come walking by, there's like this crowd of people, crowd of Shadar Kai, around Thunuk and Drenmai, watching them masterfully destroy these meals. Food everywhere, but the plates are clean.
It's not pretty.
It is not a pretty sight.
The plate's cleaner than us.
Yeah, at this point, right? And the guy says, he looks at like he had like a little hourglass that he had turned over for, because these are timed events. It's not just can you finish it? Can you finish it in a certain amount of time? And he does it, and he goes, "Wow, you know what?
New record.
I seen some things. Little lady, big man, food's on us today. That is impressive."
Don't open your mouth. It's gonna try and come out.
And Ito says something with mushrooms in it. Just let me know how much it costs, because I rolled another one. I tried to see if I was paying attention to any of the things that were happening. So I rolled another one,
That's
and
four
so I just
ones for you today.
Yeah. So as soon as like all that said, he goes, "Yeah, just something with mushrooms, and just let me know how much it costs." And he just keeps walking.
I think you should probably just put that die in a
I
microwave.
should probably just not use dice anymore. I'll just make the
What did you
numbers
roll?
up.
I have a 14. Really? Yeah, I'm just deciding that's what I got.
I'm just deciding that's where I'm at.
So
I rolled a dog. This is a D20. How's there a dog on the D20?
Where'd this dog come from?
What is this? Oh, this is a train. I didn't roll a dice. I rolled a toy train. It appears.
I did want to order a mushroom burger to go.
Okay, so you order a mushroom burger to go,
And I'll pay for it.
And you both have food babies right now.
Yes.
You're
Really?
both, like,
His is like a food, like secondary,
food
like,
pregnant, you know,
vestigial twin.
Thunuk is also seriously considering like dessert. But you know, like when you're like, I'm a full, but almost too full.
I have
but
that little bit of extra space.
it's a little bit extra space because, I mean, you can always have space for ice cream or
The
chocolate
chat,
cake.
I need to pause. The chat, you guys all need to be punished today for the amount of shenanigans. And the four of you, you're all to blame too, because you're egging them on. But there's
Hey,
things
you said egg.
in chat today that are just no, all of you, terrible. All of you. Do you want flies with that? No. No, bad. Bad, scary, crazy butter knife. Bad.
Good.
So
No, ignore our dungeon master. We are in control here.
Yeah. What about that one? Yeah.
Wow.
Terrible people. All of you. Awful. So, okay, so you order your burger to go. Thunuk, are you ordering dessert, or are you gonna call it a day/night? A dite?
What? I don't know. Like Thunuk would be like, he just said food was on them.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Drenmai's fate die.
Okay. Fate die.
Wait, why?
To make a decision as to whether or not he gets dessert or not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Positive, he gets it. Negative, he doesn't. Positive.
Oh, okay. Dessert time.
You're welcome.
All right. So, in what way are we going to absolutely? I feel like it would have to be some kind of flan.
It's an insect gelato.
I was gonna say parfait because I imagine some insect basically like honey is made from bee vomit. Some insect vomits a parfait-like substance.
I like it.
Okay.
Let's go with a
cockroach milk ice cream.
Cockroach milk ice cream.
Milk ice cream.
Topped with candied ants.
Candied. Oh yeah, that. I mean, that just goes without saying. Dark chocolate because.
Of course, here we are in the Shadowfell. It's
Yeah,
the
we
only
gotta have
chocolate
the
that
bitter.
exists.
But I feel like there would have to be some kind of layer in there that's going to be similar to like a flan or a Jello. But what it really was is somebody actually like killed a black pudding.
And
turned
just dumped it straight into the
and
Blood pudding.
deacidified it somehow.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
neutralize the acid,
and
gives that nice texture.
Yeah, that kind of gives it the wobble.
I feel like there should be like a table that is for random drops for slimes and puddings and stuff like that, where it is something food related. Like this is a delicacy. This is why you go after these things specifically to get this.
The Water Davian, like there's the sort of underground restaurant. It's literally in the sewers, and they specialize in transforming jellies and puddings into
high-end desserts. Yeah,
haute couture restaurant.
Just a ring of tiny little gelatinous cubes. Yes, that's like the topping, right? It's like
No, you
that's
can like just you slice off a chunk of a gelatinous cube, and that's just like the shaved.
You know what?
Top
It
part.
aids digestion.
Yeah, it's gelatinous flesh.
It's like drinking God, what's that substance called?
An aperitif.
Kind of.
It's like it's like something just to help aid. It aids.
Anise is digestive. That's what it is.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So now they look at you and they go, do you want the small or the large?
How large is the large?
Pretty big.
As big as her? Points at John Mai.
Is what now?
Is it as big as her?
Hey Cookie, do we have something as big as the gnome out here for the roach cream special, the roach cream sundae? And he looks and he goes, I got a bucket. We have a bucket. It's clean.
Sonic's answer is, if you've ever seen the movie Turner and Hooch, it's just a gigantic rivulet of drool coming down the side of his mouth. He lips his chops like a big hungry dog.
Cookie, get the bucket. And so they get the and they prepare this thing, and it is just brimming with everything we just described. God, you people! Oh my, the chat is killing me today. These guys, I gotta turn the chat off because you guys are killing me. I'm hiding the chat.
Don't fuck with the chat.
It's breaking me right now. So they bring out this bucket of food. Eno, you make it. Are you heading right back to the inn?
He's going straight to go to sleep at this point. Like he's hoping that they'll bring him something, and that when he wakes up, he'll eat it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so you get yourself settled there. Thonik, let's get another Constitution check, but at disadvantage this time.
I get you on that one.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I tested fate.
Oh no.
That's the one.
What's the total though?
3.
Oh, you are
No.
fucked, son.
My dice have infected you. I'm sorry.
Hey, you were gonna fuck up.
Blame
at some-
Eno.
I was honestly testing fate for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is going to be the perfect place to end our game this week.
Oh!
No, I want to know.
We have to leave some mystery here. So we are going to end our game right there. We will be back next week with an all new game. Before we go, though, as we said in the tweet source, first of all, again, what the hell was happening in chat today? I don't know.
It's amazing. And
funny. It is amazing.
I need to know that I want every one of you in chat on every episode because this is fucking hilarious.
This was amazing. If there's a way for us to print this out, we're doing that because we are going to be incorporating this in some way, shape, or form. My God. It from amazing.
My favorite I came up with is Withering Heights. It's so perfect. Oh, God.
I don't know. Moby Grick fucking hit me in a good.
That's Moby Grick got me right in the solar plexus. That's a liver shot right there.
By Dark Twain. Fuck yes.
But so before we move over to table talk, because I know some folks might need to not stick around for table talk, and we completely understand that. Because we are going to be talking about the Cracker Barrel theory of.
And other things that I did.
Aside from that, so important announcement: Drawn and Courtier 2019. Once again, we are crowdfunding this. Team X is here. We're crowdfunding it. We are using Indiegogo this year. We used GoFundMe last year, and as great as it was, it just did not give us the reporting tools that we needed to really get in touch with everyone afterwards. And we felt like from our end, the communication was not as good as it could have been for you, all the attendees. So we moved over to Indiegogo this year. Which means that there are perks available. Now, when you go through this, there's going to be two ways that you can see this. So if you go on to Indiegogo and you look up Drawn and Courtier, or if you look, we'll be posting links.
I'll put the link in.
Yeah, we'll get links everywhere. We'll put it up on the tweet doors. We'll do all that. I think Clues is going to drop it into the chat right now. There it is. Perfect.
Boom.
Share this far and wide, please, because that's what makes this event so awesome, is that it's just a bunch of people getting together, having a home-cooked meal, sharing beers, and being able to kind of decompress after Unplugged. I'm also going to put in a little thing here that says that the last 2 years, all of the people who attended the Drawn and Courtier, nobody got the PAX Pox.
This is true.
PAX Pox is 0 and 2. So, yes. And I know there's a PAX Pox on Twitter. So, hey, motherfucker, eat it.
We win. We win.
We win.
Actual count?
Huh?
Yeah.
Actual count?
There's an actual count.
PAX Pox followed
and
me.
Like,
I was
he and Brian do not get along. It's pretty crass.
So, but there's different tiers in there. Now, something you are going to see about the tiers is that there is a limit to some of them for the ones that are attending. Here is why. It is not because we're trying to be exclusive, not because we don't want to include. If we could include everyone, believe me, my greatest, I think all of us would love it if we could just open up Reading Terminal Market and pretty much move PAX from the expo hall over into Reading Terminal Market and do that. Logistically, it's just not possible. One, I cannot make that much chili. Two, there's just limits for what we can do.
We have fire codes.
Fire codes.
With that attitude.
So but we are limited by fire code by Philadelphia, the fire marshal of Philadelphia, and by the event space with the physical number of people we are allowed to have in there. We are doing our level best to maximize that. If we take on more space, we also lose the ability to do BYOB. We then have to, because of the way that Philadelphia or Pennsylvania liquor laws work and beer laws and all that, we would have to actually have one of the local restaurants provide the beer for us, which is not the worst thing, but it does. It's
kind of the purpose.
It defeats the purpose. I'm sure they would provide excellent micro brewed stuff, but it just is not what we're looking to do. So there is a limit. Please understand that. There, when it comes to plus ones, we're not even there yet. This is just for you if you're going to get the attending spot. If you're not attending, or if you're not attending and you still want to support us, we would absolutely love it if you did that.
We had many of those last year. We very much appreciate it.
Yeah,
absolutely. But with the tiers, there's stuff you can get. Imagine some stuff.
There are
Imagine
objects.
some dark stuff that you can get. There's some very cool things in there to get. We're working on a few others as we go to see if it's possible for us to work a little bit more magic in there.
Last year's pin.
Yes. New pins.
That was a good pin.
It is a good pin. Only available if you attend the Drawn and Courtier.
Yep, we'll have a new one this year.
Yes. There's ways to get a Drawn and Courtier sign from Viking Goat. There's a way to have Blind Cleric just kind of yell insults at you for about 5 minutes, if that's the thing that you want.
Wait, is that literally a tier?
It should
that's
be.
not a tier.
It should be.
Okay.
It should be.
No, I'm not gonna insult the people that come to our party.
If they pay for it,
if they pay me to do it, I'll be like, oh, okay.
Right? There is a way for you to get very limited edition St. Brian's barbecue sauce at certain tiers.
Yes.
Which, by the way, is fantastic.
Very, very good.
Thank you.
We have the shot glasses, we have drinks, we have patches, pins, t-shirts are going to be new this year.
Yep.
The patches are new.
Or maybe you just want the pleasure of everyone's company. There's the availability to do that as well.
Yes.
But what it really comes down to is we do need to raise the money to do this to make sure that we can provide this space for everyone again. The goal we're trying to reach is $3,000. If we can get above that, that's fantastic. Anything we do not spend on the event itself, we do not keep. We will donate to charity. Right now, Child's Play is a possibility. If they do World Builders, it might be that. But it will be a charity that is somehow either Penny Arcade or Penny Arcade adjacent, depending on what they're promoting. So if it's Pat Rothfuss's deal, or if it's just Child's Play. I say just Child's Play. I don't mean to denigrate anything that's happening with them. So know that we're not making any money off of this. So please support and donate to your Dark Heart's Little Desires. Support your Weasley Little Guts Out.
Ridiculous tiers.
There are some pretty awesome tiers. Did I miss anything with the Drawn and Courtier? Oh, the deadline is April 30th.
Oh, shit,
Nice.
really?
April 30th.
April 29th.
29th, excuse me. Thank you. April 29th. That is the last day. I forgot that March has 31 days. Yeah, it is a 60-day campaign. It's been running for a couple of weeks there. We're about 44% of the way there. So anything you can help us cross that finish line would be amazing. We're going to attempt to get we're attempting to get the deposit in so we could absolutely lock in the date that we think that the Unplugged is going to be and get all that. Is there anything? Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
That should be it. Because I'm going to start promoting that everywhere now that we gave the last year's attendees enough time. So
yes,
time for me to do my work.
And I
do your dark work.
Yeah.
I will say this: if you're interested in going, support it early, because what is going to happen is the same thing that happened last year, which was by the time we finished our Indiegogo last year, around end of March, beginning of April, it was funded and it was full. This is going to fill up, and
it was very overfull.
I think the first year we had 30 plus, like 30-ish people.
Yes, crammed into a tiny little apartment.
Then the second year we had like 56 people.
Well, we capped out at 75 total. We've capped out.
Oh, we've hit total?
Oh yeah,
total.
Yeah.
Wow.
We had all.
We turned away people.
Plus, because we had Waffle Crew there, we had C Team there.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot.
There were a couple, folks like that. So
but also,
stop by. It's
imperative. This is not a general meetup, so that's one of the reasons we had to turn people away. If you do want to come to this one, you have to be part of the backers of the attending tiers.
Again, it's just an unfortunate way that it's one of the things that we have to do in order to make sure we maintain fire code, but still able to provide this for everyone. Pennsylvania has absolutely ridiculous liquor laws, which is why we can't take on different spaces. We can't do it at the convention center because then Aramark has to run it, and they will not be and we will.
And they don't allow alcohol.
Yeah, and so there's all sorts of things that just being in Pennsylvania, which is I think the only downside of Unplugged being in Pennsylvania. Everything else I love about it in Philly, except for this part of it. So again, it's not us trying to be douchey about it. There is an Acquisitions Intoxicated meetup that will be happening more than likely concurrently with ours. It is not a competing thing. I
always make sure that there is one.
Yeah, and most of the folks who went to the Drawn and Courtier afterwards went to the Amber Council meetup. So it's not like
and we got it was a great party.
Yeah, and we're not hoarding, we're not bogarting Jerry and Eric, we're not bogarting the C team. So just yeah. Anyway, but anyway, okay. On that note,
it's all just perks.
It's all just perks.
Perks. So on that note, I'm going to take us to our little interstitial scene here for us to take another brief break. Then we'll come back with table talk, where we'll go back to talking about the game and how you people break me on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
you're the reason for my therapy.
Ow.
So, yeah. No, that's not true. No, I'm sorry. You're the reason why I don't go to therapy.
There we go.
Yes, I think that's right. Okay. Anyways, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Okay, we're back. Did we just miss the proto-human using some foul language?
No, he said he was making a tunnel. He's in the bed right now.
Oh, I thought I heard him drop an F-bomb over there. And I was like, oh, okay, sure.
No. He knows better.
All right, so by knows better, you're saying he knows when to use it.
Oh, no, he's not at that stage yet. But I'm sure it's come one day. Oh, yeah.
Soon. So, hey, Gideon.
Yes.
Tell us about your extra planner theory of Cracker Barrel.
Okay, so we're back and we're live with Table Talk. And the theory is thus. My sister and I have developed this over several long driving trips across Ohio and into West Virginia. That because there's a Cracker Barrel every couple of exits. It's like every 2 exits, there's at least one Cracker Barrel. And we've decided that Cracker Barrel is an infinitely nested extra planar restaurant, and the barrel itself that you see on the sign is wherein those universes are nested, because no matter what Cracker Barrel you go into, they're all the same. They have the same layout, they have the same menu, they have the same products, they have the same staff. It's very the same, right? So it's an infinitely nested within the barrel in infinite layers. The barrel contains the Cracker Barrel restaurant across all planes. The guy sitting next to the barrel is Crackle Barrelless, and he is the god of the Cracker Barrel universe. And he periodically checks the layers of the barrel to ensure that everything is the same. And if anything is not, he presses another layer and the bottom layer falls out. That's how Cracker Barrels are built and destroyed. There's always a constant number of Cracker Barrels.
This is like
you're saying you can only have a finite amount of Cracker Barrel.
No, it's infinite in such that there's always going to be more, but there's always going to be less. It doesn't make sense infinity.
This is some quantum level
okay
stuff.
It's a quantum superposition of Cracker Barrel.
Infinity equals 1 plus, basically.
It's n plus 1 Cracker Barrels.
Yeah.
Wow.
So regardless, you have seen a Cracker Barrel. You're like, hey, a Cracker Barrel.
No,
but
it is the Cracker Barrel. It is only Cracker Barrel. There's one Cracker Barrel.
Depending on the plane,
just singular.
So potentially, you could be sitting down, having their having
chicken and waffles.
Chicken and waffles. Or
no, the hell with that. You get the farmer boy breakfast or something.
Yeah, so you're sitting down having your pancakes and your eggs and your potatoes and all that, right? So, but you're saying that someone could be sitting in the exact same seat?
Yes, absolutely. Stacked infinitely atop you, and you are stacked infinitely atop other diners, and events are happening all in the same space, but infinitely stacked upon each other.
I feel this explains every instance of, I thought I had 3 pieces of bacon when I started eating.
Yes.
Then you look and there's 2 pieces of bacon. It's because someone else has.
It also explains the very, very heady, bizarre sense of deja vu you get when you walk into a Cracker Barrel that I know everyone gets, because they're like, I've been here before, but shit, that's impossible. I've never been to Alabama, that kind of thing. Or
you're doing that little golf tee puzzle that's on every table, but you're like, I didn't move that piece there. How did that get there?
That's a form of psychic nourishment for Cracker Barrelless. It's the triangular puzzle code.
This is deep. I love it, and we need to actually write this out and make it canon in some manner.
Okay. For those, you hate it when someone else eats your bacon. That is a crime.
Podcast listeners.
It is a crime punishable by the removal of said hand.
The layer just again, it's dissolved and recycled.
Someone steals my bacon off my plate.
But it's not your plate. It's their plate.
It's everybody's plate.
It's everyone's plate.
If I see that bacon, it's occupying my reality. Schrodinger's cat is out of the box, alive or dead. It does not matter, and that is my bacon. And if your hand is reaching for my bacon,
and you're the reason. You're the reason that Cracker Barrel's closed, Brian. You don't play by the rule.
You forfeit the right to your hand. At that point, You might as well just.
Is it not the bacon though? Like it's bacon.
It's not a piece of bacon.
It's not your bacon. It's the bacon.
It's always been the bacon.
Yeah.
It is my.
We're all eating from the same plate of grits and pancakes and bacon and sausage. We're all eating the same eggs with cheese in it. It's just superpositional.
Mm-hmm. Infinitely nested.
So this means at some point we are going to have to eventually visit a Cracker Barrel.
At the end of the universe.
I mean, we're not going to be able to call it that because of trademark, but.
Okay, is there one?
I have a name for you.
In Philly.
The Kraken Barrel.
The Kraken
I don't know.
Barrel with a K.
The Kraken.
Kraken Barrel.
I think we should name it like something like not a cracker and not a barrel, but it's like you just weave the two words together.
Just go into thesaurus.com.
It's called like the pickle crate or something like that.
There it is.
It's not the Cracker Barrel. It's the pickle crate.
The pickle crate. I love it. I'm writing that down, actually.
I like Scary Crazy Butternight's thing here. Is if you can't find your car in the Cracker Barrel parking lot, to go back inside.
You stepped out in the wrong universe.
Yeah, you stepped out of the wrong exit, state highway exit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's this Japanese sort of horror urban myth thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you get off the elevator at the wrong floor, the floor that was not there before, and you turn around and you don't get in the elevator fast enough, or if you realize you have stepped out of an elevator to an alternate reality that is incredibly similar to yours, but you must now take the exact path that you took as you got out of the elevator, do the exact same thing you did to hit those buttons so you can return to your home. Otherwise, you'll never truly return to your
that's home. Awful. I love it.
That sounds like a recurring nightmare I had as a kid.
It's just a slightly different world. Like,
wow.
You keep your salt and pepper shakers on the left or the right or whatever. It's just a slightly different universe, but it's not your home.
No, that is legit a recurring nightmare I had as a kid. Never be able to get home and being trapped in a world that. Oh God! Now I do need to go to therapy.
Okay, so now you know last year's Unplugged was about the donuts. I had so many people bring me those freaking donuts. This year,
donuts.
There is Cracker Barrel not far from Philly.
Yeah, there's one. It's close to where I live. It's up off of Route 1. Route 1 by Neshaminy Mall. There's also a Red Robin right there.
It's funny because I was genuinely considering driving up.
There's Highway 95, whatever that is, like right 95. Off Darby Creek.
95?
Yeah, so there's a place where 95 and Route 1 meet, and it's right near. It's Darby, Neshaminy, that whole area. There's a big mall.
Yeah.
US 1?
Right there.
US Route 1.
Okay.
I see the one. That's too far north.
No, they run parallel.
It's the 13. That cuts into it.
Yeah, so you have right at this area. You have 13 is Street Road. You've got Route 1 North.
It's called Street Road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not lying. This is we just of all the crazy shit that we've got names for. We've got Blue Ball, Pennsylvania. We've got Intercourse, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we've got a place called Passyunk it's a neighborhood. There's Passyunk Avenue, Bly Avenue, and then we have Street Road. They just ran out. It's where all the normals lived, apparently, at some point. But yeah, that's just a big interchange. There's, the Lowe's is there, or a Lowe's is there. So it's probably about, if you were to leave the convention center, it's probably about a half hour north of Philadelphia.
I'm fine with that. I'm proposing this needs to be like the Team X breakfast or something.
I'm all about that.
This one's slightly closer to the downtown area, but it's south of this downtown area.
Is there?
Closer to Chester.
I'm not
that's
seeing
gonna be farther.
one.
That's gonna be a much farther drive.
That's outside Cherry Hill.
But that's over in Jersey. Now you're heading over into Jersey. There's a Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, that's
I'm specifically looking in Philadelphia.
Chester is south of us.
I don't see there.
The easiest thing is when you guys all get in. At some point, I'll round all you guys up. We drive up to Cracker Barrel and get breakfast.
We need Cracker Barrel breakfast. Team X breakfast.
I like it. I endorse all of this. So, favorite moments of the game. Why don't we start with our sleepiest member, Hugon Valander?
I'm not necessarily sleepy. I got super, super high on accident yesterday. Like I had a couple
Colorado.
I had a couple of really strong edibles.
I was about to say on accident.
Yo, no, I had like 2 edibles that were like, I didn't realize how strong they were, but they didn't hit me immediately, even though I'd had food and drink throughout the day. And then I got home and was still kind of like, yeah, I'm a little high. Ate some shitty food, and then at like 2 a.m, my body woke up and was like, "We are having a crisis," because whenever I laid down and like I usually rest my head on my arm, I could feel every layer of pressure of like my head to my arm against my head, my arm against the pillow against the arm, and then it stacked on itself infinitely.
Oh, God.
So I had this really
like a Cracker Barrel
feedback loop.
It was a feedback loop of pressure sensations that I couldn't get rid of.
Oh my God!
Wow.
And every time I tried to like power through it, it was like a slideshow played at like 4,000 miles an hour of every single word that I had ever written in my life. Just flashed. Just.
Dude, that's
I was like this.
That's some Jack Kerouac level shit.
These were good drugs, ladies and gentlemen. These drugs were amazing.
And
so that's why I slept for 13 hours.
He hasn't been into any crimes. All this is perfectly legal where he lives.
All these are perfectly legal. So I slept for 13 hours, which is way more than normal. And I woke up literally 4 minutes before the show. And
to me texting you.
No, my phone was off. I woke up at 1:53 and turned my phone on. It was like, oh my fucking God. Yeah, it was bad.
That's all right.
But favorite part of the show, back to the thing that you wanted to talk about. Favorite part of the show has got to be the sort of descriptive element of the Shadowfell that we're in. Mm-hmm. It reminds me a whole lot of Stephen King's Todash, and I really like it. Where thoughts and ideas and concepts have form, and like some of them are not friendly. Like where like, you know, spirits are made manifest. It's I really liked it so far.
Okay, well, thank you. Let us go in anti-clockwise, counterclockwise.
Oh, believe me then.
Yes. Usually at the 1 o'clock position, but now you're in the 2 o'clock position.
Roz's horrible roles making everything better.
Yeah.
That was going to be fine. I was trying to describe a book without saying book.
Yeah.
Paper taco.
Yeah, paper tacos.
And scrolls are now paper burritos.
Paper burritos. It's canon.
I genuinely wish for you to attempt to steal it when he turned his back, because you've been rolling so poorly. I was convinced you're going to get a natural 20.
I thought about it for sure.
And it was one of those things he attempted to steal the book before. Remember, he had tried to steal the book at the library last week.
Yeah,
I was hoping that your books. I thought you were playing dumb, trying to get him to leave the room, and you're just gonna be like, "Fuck you! I'm taking all."
So frustrated.
Or like turning them upside down and restacking them in the wrong area, or pushing over a bookshelf.
Yeah.
Or doing
which is exactly what if Hugon had been there, he'd be like, "Okay, cool, we got your thing," and as you leave, he'd just shove over a bookshelf. Like, what are you doing? Like. And just fingers just everywhere for him. I need more arms so that I can have more fingers.
Clues.
Okay. He stole mine. I think my second favorite, just the visual of Hugon going to his room, and then it's like you push a button and it's like the decompression, just like everything like armor off everything, and just it's like that you've been built up and stressed and tense in battles and all this kind of stuff, and it's like big old knot, and then just
It's the off
like that moment. Yeah, that was fun for me.
He's finally able to break out his trashy teen romance novel and read a few pages
exactly.
before he goes to bed.
Yeah, we don't know that he's like secretly reading.
This is canon yet. I know this is not part of it. It's just
young adult romance.
It's either that.
No, it's not young adult. It's like middle-aged white reader.
Oh, it's on the other side.
It's on the other side of that shelf. Oh. So it's even worse.
So it's like 50 Shades of Grey like level. Or
the quality of the writing, probably not the content.
So it's like super thirsty, or like Nora Roberts S.
Oh yes, God. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
There was some good stuff being tossed around chat today with the names.
The chat was money today. Chat was amazing. I'm still chuckling about Dark Twain.
Oh God.
I want Dark Twain.
That's so fucking good.
What was the twist?
That was the name of the book. That was the name of the bookstore owner. Was Dark Twain. It's canon now.
I wanted that one like to be an actual thing.
Moby Grick was fantastic.
That was fantastic.
Wuthering Heights.
So the
Tale of Two Thorpes.
Tale of Two Thorpes.
Oh, yeah. Oliver Twisted. Imagine how good of a story that would be.
Oh God.
That'd be so good.
I think my favorite moment, aside from chat absolutely breaking me, and that's all of you guys included, because you guys were putting some things in there too. Whenever we get to food, I think that's always just it's just fun, and I like this idea of Thunuk and Dren having this relationship, like friendship, that's kind of food.
A food ship.
A food ship.
It's food ships.
Yeah.
Wholly Cussatorian based.
Yeah. But I did like the little moment of Eno walking by and said, "Hey guys, can you order me something? I'll be right back." But because Raz knows what Dren and Thunuk are like, but Eno does not, and is thinking, "Oh, it's my friends. Hey, can you order me something?" Not realizing who he's dealing with.
I don't know yet.
Neither one of which is known for their attention span, and has not seen either one of these two eat at this point. He hasn't had Thunuk's cooking yet either. So
this is true.
That's true.
Right. But I think of all of it. I think it was chat. You guys fucking broke me today. Just with, and like I said, there was a lot going in there. We delved into some really strange, kind of horrifying areas. With the usage of bugs in food.
Listen, it's delicious.
But Moby Grick was that ended it for me. That was so that's mine. My favorite moment for today.
Next.
That's everybody.
Then no, I
that's everybody who matters.
Shut
up.
Oh
God.
I'm sorry.
I was just going to compliment you.
Wow.
I'm very sorry. I forgive you.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say the thing that broke me the most was when Gideon said, "I just rolled a toy train." Like and it's not a game moment, but like I literally had to mute, and I had to stifle the laugh and mute.
This isn't a dice.
Nearly killed me. Thanks.
This is a Thomas the Tank Engine toy.
Oh my God.
I have to say,
Percy, what are you doing in my dice tray?
But yeah, the whole eating montage was just terrific. Yeah.
I have to put an addendum on it that when you were trying to fish for the word for book, and you rolled so poorly on that, and Gideon, you jumped in with, "This isn't a bookstore. This is just all the different things that."
This is a boot store. I've been lied to.
You guys were all on fire today. This was.
There's a pencil in my boot.
Why is there ink in my boot?
Trent.
I swear I didn't do it.
Oh my God, he's the sergeant in start of the police station. Oh, the captain. Sorry, like, Drenmar, you've gone too far this time.
Turn in your character badge.
Oh God.
Do you know how much damage you've done?
Where's on the horn? Literally on the horse.
The flamethrowers from Ravnica are definitely of interest to me.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know that we didn't touch much on that, but I want them. Even though Hugon has no idea what it is.
Planting seeds.
He sees its effectiveness.
Planting
Yeah,
seeds.
I saw a shiny tinker thing.
I saw something that would be a fucking nightmare to attack.
Ooh, or being able to show my dark side. That was kind of fun too.
That was amusing.
Fun. Because I'm going to destroy everything he loves. Oh my god.
Yeah. I want. If there's nothing of value that he can give me, I want something of value that matters to him. So that way,
your realm will forever be at war. And you will know in your darkest hour, it was me.
Exactly.
So, well, folks,
I'm good at poison.
It is. Oh God. It is 7:33 Eastern Daylight Time. So I think it's about time we call it quits. We will be back next week at the regular Bat channel, regular Bat time, with another game of Team X. We will be sending more information about the Drawn and Courtier out this week. Keep an eye here. Keep an eye in the Penny Arcade chats because there's going to be information there as well. And keep a ear open as well, because at some point in the near future, we're going to have some stuff to give away, things that people have wanted.
Yes.
I can't wait.
But we'll let you know.
I have even more stuff.
More things. All right, cool. Guys, hey, members of Team X, thank you very much for killing me again. My face hurts once again. And for folks in the chat, you guys killed it as well. You're part of the reason why I look the way I do. So we're gonna call it a day. Everyone be since the goat has beaten Dragon's Lair in one go.
Yeah, that was
in one goat.
One goat.
Oh gosh.
You're the goat.
Because he is the goat.
I need to actually. I need to put another poll out for another game, but I'm gonna
Glover.
play.
Just play Glover.
I can't find it.
You're disappointing.
I'm gonna play Dragon's Quest again on Tuesday, but try to do it perfectly. So every time I die, I have to start over again.
50 continues.
No, there's just that one night.
Okay.
Yeah. One night only.
Because
once you do it like the first time, you're like, well, fuck.
I literally ate up half my continues, just finishing off that game.
Now imagine that in the arcade, because that's what that was. That thing devoured, and it wasn't 25 cents. No, this was not a mere quarter to play. No. This was like $1 to play, like in the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you got to pay for that Rankin Bass animation there. You know,
it wasn't Rankin Bass. He used to work for Disney. Hold on, I was just reading up on this so I could talk about it during the show, and I completely forgot about all of it now. Don Bluth.
Don Bluth, that's right. Yep, same guy as the Rats of Nim.
Rats of Nim. All Dogs Go to Heaven. I did a handful of Disney stuff. Did he do
Watership Down?
No,
that was Rankin Bass. Anywho, we're getting off on a tangent here. We all need to eat now because we talked about eating delicious vegetarian / buggy foods. So we're gonna call it a night. Guys, thank you very much for tuning in. It was great having you here. We will be back next week at 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time with a brand new episode of Team X. Love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.